I go deep, yeah. Invasion block is fine, it's fun, but I feel like Ikoria. I've barely been able to get myself to even play Standard since Ikoria came out. I skipped the Magic Online Fest last weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to play this weekend or not. I want to play them, they're sweet, but I'm just kind of addicted to Ikoria draft right now. Yeah, 4-star, not 5, right? Michelin stars? I don't even know how it works. But I've been to a few nice Michelin-rated restaurants because some of the Magic players are pretty into food. The meals are good. I mean, to me, it's not worth the money. But, I mean, they definitely make a good product. Like, if you're into food, I could certainly see buying it. Okay, so Tri-lands are good, but more of a 3rd through 6th pick, not something we're looking to first pick. Lord Drakus is good, but again, really only at its best in a blue-red spells. Although, to be fair, like, this is just good in a red-black deck, too, or a blue-black deck, or anything that has access to good removal. Parcel Beast is excellent. It is a gold card, but it's pretty easy to splash in green. And this card is like a fine card to play off a light splash. It's not like a 2-drop gold card that you have to be that color. The commons are okay. Mutual Destruction's pretty good. Wolverine and Ram-Through are pretty good. Basically, I think Parcel Beast is the best of the cards in the pack, the best gold card. Ram-Through is probably the best one-color card. I think Parcel Beast is enough better than Ram-Through to take it here. See if we can start off with a little blue-green Mutado today. Well, now we have some interesting choices. This is a really interesting pack. So, Ominous Seas, of course, can go with Parcel Beast in a blue-green deck. We can prioritize cycling and card drawing a little higher than usual, even if we're blue-green mutate, and have that card be great. Inspired Ultimatum might be the best of the ultimatums. It fits really well into a cycling deck, where you just, like, you play, like, a couple blue duels and 2 islands or whatever, and, like, you know, 14 lands, maybe 15 if you have the ultimatum, as opposed to the usual 12 or 13. And you just cycle through your deck, and then ultimatum for the win, basically, and it's just an awesome card. But Ominous Seas is a really powerful card, too, and goes, like I said, easier with Parcel. Plus, we can still play blue-red spells or anything with Ominous Seas. Prophecy and Porcuparrot are really nice one-color cards, but they're not the color of Parcel Beast anyway. Kind of think it's Ultimatum. Maybe it's too greedy, though, because Ominous Seas is a really good draft around also. Ultimatum it is. Okay, now it's an Easy Dream Heron. Doesn't go as well if we go cycling with the Ultimatum, but we don't know exactly what we're going to draft. We could still splash, like, Ultimatum into a red-blue spells deck. We could also light splash Parcel Beast, maybe, maybe not. Well, it was both. I was debating between the Inspired Ultimatum and the Seas, and I kind of decided on Ultimatum, so I just kind of let it tick down. But I think that was a really close pick. I wouldn't blame anybody for Ominous Seas or Ultimatum there. I would definitely not take anything else out of that pack. But I think Ominous Seas was totally reasonable. I think Inspired Ultimatum was totally reasonable. Now I'm going to make a pick that might surprise some people, but I have not been super impressed with Avian Oddity. It's a playable card. It's I'm never cutting it. When I say it's a playable, I mean it's not a filler. Like, I'm never cutting it. But I think Scatter's just better. I really like Scatter in this format. If you scatter those cycling creatures that the deck revolves around, then they can cycle and do nothing. Against Mutate, Scatter is awesome. Like, Scatter it's not amazing against, whoa, and hey, now we are going to try and do red, white, blue cycling, 3-color cycling. After the past couple picks of Scatter and Heron, I was thinking we would end up more of just like a blue-green, blue-red, and maybe we'd splash Ultimatum, maybe we wouldn't play it. But now we're looking at what I consider to be the mythic uncommon. I don't even think Zenith Flare should be rare. I think it should be mythic rare. This is like, you just cycle and pull it up and win the game with it. It's the best card in the best deck. I mean, as you can see, I took Parcel Beast pick 1. I'm in no way trying to force cycling, but, I mean, Zenith Flare. Need I say more? The best card in the best deck, 5th pick. So, since we do have Zenith Flare and Ultimatum now, I don't think we want to focus our cycling deck here on aggression like Wolverine, which is a totally fine card in cycling. I think we want to be a control cycling deck that wins the late game. We've got Essence Scatter, Zenith Flare, so I'm going to take Healer. We're gonna try and draft like a blue, white, red, like with card drawing and a really controlling build of the cycling deck, I think. That's how you best use both Ultimatum and Flare. Now look, Flare is just busting any cycling deck, of course. But the longer the game goes, the better Flare is. Let's assume we're not going to play Parcel Beast. No clue if we'll play Dreamtail Heron or not. It'll just come down to what else we get. I don't think we can take a red-white land over Healer. I would take it out of, over a lot of cards right now, given we are doing 3-color. But I don't think we can take it over Drannith Healer. I don't think I'm going to play Checkpoint Officer, but that pack had nothing. Not even any Cyclers. This pack also has nothing. Pretty weak. Not that there's much for other archetypes either. These are just bad packs. Now we'll get a 1-mana cycling spell that's actually somewhat useful. I missed Memory Leak? I didn't see Memory Leak. Well, I should have took Memory Leak then. I just didn't see it. Sorry. I mean, obviously sometimes it's, you can miss an off-color cycler. I mean, I know what they are. I know what I'm looking for. But I just missed the Memory Leak. Clearly should have took Memory Leak. The 1-2 tapper obviously is better than Memory Leak in a white-black deck or something. But in a Jeskai cycling deck, you'd rather just have a 1-mana off-color cycler. 1-mana cyclers are really good. 2-mana cyclers are fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with tossing, like, a 2-mana off-color cycler in your deck. But a 1-mana cycler is really good in these decks. Okay, I think this pack has no playables for us. So, one thing to consider, these decks need to have a pretty low land count. Now, if you have Inspired Ultimatum, you don't need to have as low of a land count, because we're looking to hit land 7. We'll just Ultimatum. And, like, you dig through your deck when you're cycling. So Flood is less of a concern. That said, we still are not going to play 17 lands. If we have 10 cards that do nothing but cycle, you can't play 17. So we're looking to play like 14 or 15 instead of like 12 or 13 because we have Inspired Ultimatum. I'm going to move this Heron out. I'm really not planning to play that. I don't mind a creature light version at all if I've got Inspired Ultimatum and Zenith Flare. I'm not trying to really close the early damage. Trying to play more of a control build. So we had a good pack one in terms of power level. Reunion is a nice pickup for us too. But 7 cards is not enough, is the point I was making. If we played like 15 and 25 or 14 and 26, that means we need about 8 to 9 cards out of every pack. That said, I mean, I missed the Memory Leak. And of course, we have stuff that could be filler, but we could put in. If I need to play Spring Jaw Trap as like flash removal for my control deck, or if I need to play Heron, if I have a few things to mutate onto. I'd be a lot happier with Farfinder in this 3-color Inspired Ultimatum version of this deck than I would be in the normal red-white. So if I happen to pick up 2 Farfinders, then I'll just play 13 lands, because I'll have all the cycling to hit land 3. And then I'll play the Dreamtail Heron, because putting Dreamtail Heron on Farfinder is awesome. But I definitely don't want to just cast Dreamtail Heron. Stinger and Healer are both human, so we can't play Dreamtail Heron unless we get a couple of good things to put it on. This looks like a pretty easy blitz. Essence Scatter and Startling Development, 1-mana Cycler and Counter are good, but we're mostly spells. Cycling allows you to pile spells up in your graveyard. And then, of course, we can just blitz any creature. It's just good removal. Thank you, The Real Dash Dude. Appreciate that subscription. Yeah, Zenith is way up there on Mythic Uncommons. It's there with Risen Reef. A few of the other true game-winning Mythic Uncommons for sure. It is a ridiculous Magic card. This pack doesn't have anything I'm excited about. Flame Spill's good removal, even though it looks like an aggressive card. It's a 3-mana instant that does 4, so you're killing a creature for 3 mana. Nothing wrong with it. I'm probably going to take it, and we're definitely going to play it. But I'm not super excited about second picking it here. Although I am happy that we're getting a lot of red cards. Red being the central color on Ultimatum. Our land count could easily end up like 6 red, 4 white, 4 blue, or 5 red, 5 white, 4 blue, or 6 red, 5 white, 4 blue, or something like that. So it is good to prioritize red cards a little bit. I really, really, really would like this on-color crystal and these on-color lands. I don't know if I can take them over Drannith Healer or not. I mean, the crystal is a lot better with the Inspired Ultimatum. It really helps you cast it and ramps to it. I messed with the audio a little bit yesterday because of the co-op with Deathsea, so if it doesn't sound good, let me know. I'll mess with it if I need to. So this pack doesn't really have anything I'm interested in. I don't see us picking up creatures to play mutates. I would have chose the duel over the wilds. Marmoset's good in this deck, but again, I don't really want to go down a card in hand and put out creatures. This is a version of the deck where I'm going to try and keep my creature count down. So I might still take Marmoset here, but I might also just take Divine Arrow. I mean, we do have to close, but we have Zenith Flare. Yeah, I mean, we still probably want a Marmoset or two, but... I am big on Wolverine in this deck in a lot of cases. A lot of times when I'm 2-color red-white cycling, it's more of an aggro deck than a control deck. You want, like, a bunch of Stingers and Wolverines and Marmosets, and you just, like, overpower them. But it's different when you have Essence Scatter, when you're going to play 3 colors, when you have Inspired Ultimatum to win the game with if you hit 7, Zenith Flare, and then you just also have, like, all these spells. Like, this deck is a very controlling version of this deck where I really don't want Wolverines and Marmoset. I would say normally in this deck, Marmoset is good and Wolverine is fine. In this version of this deck, Marmoset is fine and Wolverine is bad. I'm not saying it's like completely unplayable, but Wolverine would not be a card I'd be excited about in this version of the deck. So now there's Farfinder and Memory Leak. Like I said, if we got, we do have a Dream Heron on the board. If we needed to, I would happily play a Farfinder in my 3-color Ultimatum version, but I'd rather just take Memory Leak. It's a 1-mana cycling spell. Normally, I consider Stinger a lot better than Tactician, even though they're both good. The fact that it cycles means I can dig to Ultimatum. Given we're not aggressive, and that we have such an awesome late game, it's possible this version wants Tactician more. I mean, Tactician is more board dominating by a lot, but the thing is, like, having the ability to play something on turn 2 is pretty nice. Also, normally it's more of an aggro deck. So I haven't really drafted this much, like a red, white, blue, 3-color cycling deck. I've seen people tweet pictures of it. That doesn't seem very good. I think I'm just going to take the 1-mana cycling spell. Cyclone seems fine, like I would play it, but I don't think it's as good as the 1-mana cycling spell. I could be wrong. I don't think Ultimatum's going to be as hard to cast as you think. We may need to hit land 8, because we may draw, you know, we might not have exactly these 3 on 7. But we're just going to cycle and make our land drops and cycle and make our land drops. Yeah, I guess Pacifism's still fine removal. 1-mana cycler. Like, if you look at this deck, we have Scatter, Pacifism, Blitz, Flame Spill, and then we have Zenith Flare and Ultimatum and all cyclers. All this deck is really doing is cycle, 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 kill thing, win with Ultimatum and Flare. That's our plan A, that's our plan B, that's all. That we're a one-trick pony here. But it's a pretty good one. Thank you, Last O Wiki. Appreciate the subscription. Well, 3 big payoffs, I guess. Marmoset, Flare, and Ultimatum. We also have Healer and Stinger. We draw 5 extra cards and then just cast things. I mean, I usually like to imagine if I play a card that kills their biggest creature and draws 5 cards and gains 5 life, that I can win the game after that. Also, we can literally just deal, like, 15 with Flare and 5 with Ultimatum or 20 with Flare. I mean, obviously, if we can pick up good cycling and build-arounds like Save Thundermare, we're going to do that. But I think we can close most games with what we have, unless they have Neutralize for Flare and Ultimatum or something like that. That could be a problem. Here, it's a clear Thunder main. I mean, way better than Marmoset. Nothing else in the pack to even remotely consider. Yeah, white has been wide open. Blue has not been open, which is fine. I mean, the blue on the Ultimatum is one of the smaller. You know, the red is the one it's centered around. Scatter's single blue. It's a pretty good card. Other than that, like... and Scatter plays well with cycling because, I mean, you can just leave your mana up and cycle on a turn. So clearly we can't play Karuga. Save Thundermane here down, like 10 cards that cost 2 mana. Casting Karuga isn't going to do anything for us. I mean, we're going to have one permanent out or none. Karuga might be the most broken companion and a super broken card. We just can't use it. There's just no way around that. So for us, I think it's Will or Splendor Mare. Will is normally better, but we have a lot of removal and not many creatures to be willing. So I think we might end up wanting to cast Splendor Mare sometimes and kill their blockers. We're more of a removal and attack and gain 3 type of a deck than we are an attack and pump our creature kind of a deck. And they both cycle for 2 mana, so if you're cycling them, it's pretty irrelevant which one you take. I'm not high on Blade Banish. No, it's playable, but I don't think it's great. Just going to take a 1 mana cycler here. If we did have creatures to put it on, Lord Dracus would be kind of sweet. Get back this removal or get back Zenith Flare or Ultimatum for the win. I don't think we do, though. We can put it on, like, Thundermane, which never lives or you win, Splendor Mare, Marmoset. We have, like, very little. Granted, this pack is nothing. Does this pack even have a Cycler in it? Well, I'm going to take Dracus over the Cloud Piercer. I don't know if we can end up running it, but I don't think that pack had a single Cycler or anything for us, so no biggie. Okay, now I'm going to grab Scatter for some more good removal over a 2-mana off-color Cycler. I'm not sure if I would take a 1-mana off-color Cycler over Scatter or not, but I don't think a 2-mana off-color one is great. Reptilian Reflection's always good. Even if this seems like more of an aggressive card, it's still just a 3-mana 5/4 to block with. If your opponent's trying to attack you, just cycle, activate this, and block. And further, it's a win condition. We can attack them, get in 5 or 10, and then kill them with Zenith. Or just attack 4 times with it, whatever. It's just an excellent card. Pyroceratops is not going to get turned on that much here. I mean, we're cycling way more than we're casting our spells. Okay, I don't think any of these cards stand virtually any shot to make our deck. I guess maybe Anticipate's the most likely in a deck like this. I don't think it's good. Taptician for sure here. Windmill Slam. It's a nice late Taptician. I think I want to take the blue-white duel over Marmoset, but I'm kind of worried that we won't get enough playables, because we're only on 23, and this is a deck that wants 25 or 26, I think. Do we even have a 2-mana Cycler in our board? I wouldn't mind that. No, we don't. I'm going to gamble. Please tell me I got it. Okay, sweet. We need like 1 to 2 more playables. And we still have, you know, 5 picks left. Hopefully we can get, like, a 2-mana off-color Cycler at least, or something like that. Because that was our only land. That's our only mana fixer. Which is not, like, again, it's not imperative. But, I mean, we do want to up our mana sources here at the end of the draft if we can. 2 mana off-color Cycler that's not even a spell is really bad, but we may need it. And I guess it's a crystal, even though it's only 1 color on, we can still cast it if we want to ramp. Nothing playable here. I wish I didn't miss that 1 memory leak, because we're about 1 playable short, and that 1 memory leak would just be an awesome 1 mana off-color cycling spell for our deck. Hampering Snare is a nice 2-color on-color cycler. I'm glad to pick that up. So that looks about right. Might need to change the Plains and Islands by 1, but not actually sure. The crystal, this one produces blue. Scatter's an early game card. For white, we have Healer, Pacifism, Snaptition, Splendor Mare. Checkmate Officer kind of sucks in these decks. You don't want to spend your mana tapping something every turn. You just kind of want to keep cycling. If you spend 2 to kill something, like Pacifism or Scatter, that's fine. The creature's dead, it buys you time, it's dealt with forever. But you don't want to spend 2 mana a turn killing something. You want to spend 2 mana killing it forever. Checkmate Officer is excellent in, like, white-black humans and stuff. It's just not a very good card in the cycling deck. I'm a little worried about Flood, but I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess with Inspired Ultimatum and Zenith Flare, I have to assume we will close. We won't flood out. This deck's fine. It's not amazing. It's not horrible. We got like 1 of everything. We have Reflection, Marmoset, Taptician, Healer, Stinger, Thundermane. I really like that Zenith and Ultimatum are hard to interact with. I mean, the Drake would be awesome in this deck if it just did what it does, but we don't really have the ability to mutate it. These 2 are humans. Thundermane never lives, and if it does, we've won anyway. There's very little to mutate the Dracus on. I think we want, like, 1 more spell, though. Like, 1 less land. Because we have these crystals to cast, too. If we want to. So I think I want to do, like, that. 14 land sounds good with 2 crystals. I could play Anticipate, but my problem is I only have 4 or 5 blue sources. So I won't necessarily have 1 right away to cast Anticipate to find land 3. And if you can't play Anticipate as a split card in a deck like this, you probably don't want to play it. 1 lander, 2 1-mana cyclers, on color crystal, I'm in. Alright, we do have a tap land, so let's cycle now in case we draw it. No land for the opponent. They might be playing the cycling deck too. Who knows? That said, if they're discarding instead of casting things, then let's put out a threat and start dealing some damage. No way to kill it with 1 red. If they draw the land, then maybe they can Fire Prophecy it. But, okay then. So they're the cycling deck too, I think. We could board in a counter like Convolute in this matchup, in case they have Flare and whatever, but we didn't get one. I didn't see an enchantment. I saw no cards, really, so... I mean, you have to keep a 1-lander with 2 1-mana cyclers like I did there. You don't have to keep a 1-lander with no 1-mana cyclers, but my guess would be they had, like, Fire Prophecy and were on the draw. So they just said, I need 1 land and I'm good to go. You've seen me keep hands like that plenty of times. Sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. It's not the good part of Magic, but it doesn't mean their play was wrong. I should not have played the island over the mountain, of course. If I draw plains, I could play Thundermane. Now I can't because I'm bad. Alright, we didn't get punished because these are the cards we would have now. I'm going to cycle... no, I'm just going to play Drowning Stinger now. Who knows if they have removal or not. Actually, I don't even know what I want to do. I want to hold Cathartic Reunion for Flood. I want to cycle and make land 3 next turn. But I guess if they don't have removal, Drowning Stinger's a good threat. And if they're the cycling deck too, it could deal damage. So yeah, let me just play it. Trade it with their removal or not. It's not like I can't dig up lands with Reunion if I need to. And I already have one more cycling card for next turn, maybe another. Like, if I draw a land, I can go Crystal and cycle Development. That's a pretty good turn. Okay, so that has 3 toughness. So we can't kill it with Thundermane. So I think we'll probably want to pacify that. We're still looking to dig up lands. Although if I can kill it with Startling Development, that's just great for me. So first I'll attack. I'm going to cycle with the Development anyway into their turn, so I don't care about telegraphing it. If they take it, now I'm going to pacify Marmoset. Definitely good enough to pacify. But if they would have blocked, I would just play Startling Development and turn my Stinger into a 4/4 and kill it that way. I use OnTap GG and Cardboard Live for overlay and all of that. That's the stuff you're looking at. They should both be open and updated and working, hopefully. Okay, hey, we got a raid from Going Optimal. First raid of the day. Thank you, Going Optimal, for the support of my channel and introducing your viewers. I really appreciate it. Okay, so for now, the 1/1's not beating the 2/2, so we can attack. And then we do want to make land drops, but I don't think we need to cast Crystal. Cards in the yard, powering up Zenith Flare. So, actually, no, because with 5 mana, we can play Thundermane, cycle, and shock immediately. And that's kind of something I want to do, because they could easily be holding removal. So I think I actually will play Crystal here. It is the on-color try one. And then I can still cycle, like, this 1-mana cycler, see if I hit a land drop. Since the Crystal's coming to play on tapped. Thundermane, cycle Venusaur, I was 1 mana short. You have to pay 2 for Thundermane, so it's 5 mana to 2 for Thundermane, 1 to cycle, and then 2 to pay 2. Our deck has a pretty good cycling count. There's a pretty good chance we're going to just kill them with the Zenith Flare this game, regardless of what else we do. Maybe not. I forgot about Bastion. They will gain a few life. I mean, don't get me wrong. We'll probably ultimately kill them with Zenith Flare, but it's not like we can just run straight to it because of Bastion. I forgot about that. For now, they're nowhere near 3 spells. I'll happily trade Stinger for Wolverine and just play the long game. So I think we're going to chill. I want the 1-mana cycler for when I hit 1 more land. And we do have lands as well as a tap land in this deck. So I think I'm going to cycle Shredded Sails now. This way we can play the land if we get it. And then unless I draw something that changes things, I'm just going to pass the turn. Scatter up in case they play a good creature. If they don't play a creature, next turn, we can on-tap now, play Thundermane, cycle Memory Leak, and shoot the Wolverine. And it's really important to use the Thundermane if you can on turn 5. Like, if this card's in your hand on turn 2 and you have Mountain Plains on turn 2, sure, just go ahead and play it, right? But if you have this card on turn 4 or 5, they're probably going to be able to kill it. There's tons of removal in this format, right? But if I play it, even if they're holding an instant speed removal, I still get to trigger it. I still get to cycle and shock this Wolverine. Even if they kill it in response, they can't stop it. So I guarantee myself this nice use of Thundermane, even if they have removal. What's up, Voxy? Thank you for the 1 year of support. Also, thank you for all the great streaming you do. Pretty awesome Most nights when I sign off, I flip on Voxy stream and then go play Standard or whatever I have to practice for tournaments. Okay, so I think here we're not cycling because we have the 1-mana cycler, exactly 5 lands in Thundermane. Apparently, compliment Voxy, and she gets generous. Thank you, Voxy, for gifting out 5 subs. 36 in the channel over the year. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being a great limited streamer and a great supporter of my channel. I do really appreciate it. We can get a Ben Voxy draft. You gotta talk to Voxy. I'm down. Alright, so we're gonna do what I said. We're gonna untap. Now we can play Thundermane. Cycle the 1-mana cycler. Kill the Wolverine. And even if they have removal, even if they have Prophecy in response, you still get the trigger because it's on the stack. You still get to pay the 2 even if the Thundermane's in the graveyard. So we still get this 1 good free kill on their creature. Now, we don't want to play another island or another plains. We want our next land to be a mountain. We want to hold islands and plains from here to discard to Cathartic Reunion, because the most expensive card in our deck is Jeskai Ultimatum. So I played the plains because I need to get up to 7 for Jeskai Ultimatum. And then I'm gonna hold any further islands and plains now. But that plains made sense to put into play, I think. Thank you, Anafenza the Foremost. Appreciate the subscription. Remember, Thundermane's not cheap. I may want to double kill like a 4/4 or something by cycling and paying 2 for 2 cards. So that's why I thought it made sense still. Anafenza the Foremost, generously gifting out 5 subs. TPO3, gifting out a sub to Baconality, making Baconality no longer a pleb. So thank you to all the generosity. Look what you started, Voxy. That's 11 subs gifted out in the past couple minutes. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all the generosity. Thank you, Voxy, TPO, and Anafenza the Foremost. All right, for now, we're looking to play for the long game. Just going to put out this Reflection. If they attack with the Moloch, I can trade. Oh, I can't let the Moloch, though. Like, I don't care about, you know, them 2-for-1-ing me. But if I trade the Reflection for the Moloch now, they'll just play the other Moloch and get back that one. So I can't let that happen. So for now, I'm just going to block here. I don't really care if they have something. Thundermane, not that useful on this board at this moment. But I can't actually kill the Moloch this turn. Next turn, I'll cycle and kill the Moloch. Because now, whatever, they can't Moloch the Moloch anymore. Unless they have a third. Alright, not bad, not bad. Actually, I guess there's no reason to miss the damage. I can Blade Banish here. And then on their turn, I can cycle the Crystal and activate the Reflection and block. I could probably have been more aggressive here and just killed them with Zenith. So this might have been a little bit of a mistake. I mean, I'm in a really good, comfortable position. So it's like natural to play defensive. And they do have Bastion of Remembrance out. So there's no guarantee I could have snuck in exactly lethal here. But if I did get in the hit for 5 last turn, it would be pretty close. I probably should have just done that. You're going to see some cycling, Slave to Phage. I don't force it by any means, but it is the best deck in the format. I got a 5th pick Zenith pack 1 in this draft. So it seems like it's really being underdrafted, which is ridiculous. I mean, if the best deck in the format's being underdrafted, I'm going to draft it. Alright, I can't take this. It's double strike. They shouldn't have played it before blockers. Maybe they did that because they're trying to bait me into not blocking. I'm not going to risk taking lethal here. Like I said, I have a good hand. Even if I have to Zenith Flare the Moloch, I'm not afraid to do that because I have Jeskai Ultimatum left in my deck to win with. For now, let's start by cycling Gopher Blood. It's only 1 mana. We'll see what we get. Alright, I want to hold that for Reunion. I'm just going to put out a 3/3 lifelink. If that 4/4 can't attack, because I'll hit back for 3 and gain 3, that's great. If they have removal, next turn we might have to Zenith Flare the Moloch, but we're not taking lethal this turn from 10. At least we shouldn't expect to. So we can play the Splendor Mirror here, go to 6, see if they have an answer for the Mirror. If not, I'll be happy to hit with it. Alright, so it looks like they did, but we drew another land, so before we cast Zenith Flare, we can Cathartic Reunion and see what we find. Red, white, 2. Okay. Okay, so that's good. So now we found Blitz. So now we don't need to Zenith Flare. This is pretty safe because we're going to gain 3 life back. There are ways we could die, but it's worth it to play for the win. You know, even Double Strike leaves them a point short. And now we can kill them with the Zenith Flare and the Suffocating Flames. Whenever a creature controlling menace becomes blocked, creature's menace, okay, so that doesn't do anything. And neither does that, so we won. Now they're at 9, and we can just play the Broken Mythic Uncommon. They can't sack their own creatures to gain life with Bastion Remembrance, I don't think. Looks like lethal. Oh, I agree. Tactician is better than Thunder. Oh no, well, no, I don't know. Because the thing I like about Thundermane more than Tactician is that even if they have removal, you can play it with 5 mana and kill a creature immediately. I agree. Snare Tactician is more board dominating than Thundermane, but since the cycling deck doesn't have a ton of different creatures that it plays each game, your opponents tend to be able to use the 2 removal they draw on average, let's say, each game on whatever creatures you play. So, even though I agree Snare Tactician is more board dominating, I think Thundermane is better because you can play it with 5 or 6 mana and kill something immediately, even if they have removal. I think that makes it better. Alright, nice little 1-lander on the draw. Let's see if we can do like our opponent did last game. We have the 1 mana last round, game 1. We have the 1 mana Cycler, though, so, and we're on the draw here, so we have 3 cards to hit land 2. If we hit land 2, we have Scatter and a 2 mana Cycler. I'm even on the high side for these kind of decks. I'm playing 14 land. Sometimes I play as low as 12 in these decks. Alright, so now we'll Scatter a creature. We already have land 3, so we're good. If they don't play anything, of course we'll cycle. Run out some threats. Oh no, I agree. I completely agree, the Baldric. Zenith Flare should be a mythic rare if they wanted it to hit players. If they wanted to print it at uncommon, it can only hit creatures. It can't hit players. It would be a fine card to only hit creatures and gain some life, and it would be a powerful uncommon. If they wanted it to be able to hit players, then it needed to be like a mythic or something, because it's clearly pushed for standard, which is fine, but you can't have that running around at uncommon in limited. It's too good. Yeah, walkers too. Whatever. Who cares about walkers? But I'm saying, like, if it only hit creatures and walkers, then, like, it would be a great removal spell for cycling, but it would be a powerful, expensive uncommon that dealt with a creature and gained you a bunch of life. That's fine. If they wanted it to hit players, it needed to be rare or mythic. And honestly, I think it should be mythic, not even just rare. It should be something that only exists, basically, because they wanted it for standard, and it's clearly way too good for limited, so you make it mythic. Under that argument, L Teacher, then you make it rare still, but not uncommon. Non-mythics don't cost that much. It's only going in 1 deck. If this was a rare and not an uncommon, it would still end standard. If red-white cycling is playable in standard, tier 1, 1.5, and this is rare, it costs like $1 or $2. Alright, so let's cycle Crystal. Clearly we don't need that. Pumping up this Marmoset. They're pretty much already lethaled. I mean, if we draw all lands from here, we might not lethal them. But at this point, we're putting cycling cards in the yard for our Zenith Flare, and we're hitting for 9 this turn. So it looks like it's pretty much game. I think now it actually is lethal to the Zenith Flare next turn. Yeah, this is a real draft deck. It feels like I'm playing standard and my opponent's playing limited. is the kind of card people can play around, whereas letting them know I have a Drannith Healer is irrelevant. So I'm going to cast Drannith Healer here, because they have to stop 2 creatures, and so rather than show them the Flare, I'm just going to cast the Healer. Obviously, if they do anything to gain life, I'll respond with Flare. But it is the kind of card you play differently. You board in Memory Leak, you try and keep your life total up, you try and race, you account for it. So I'm gonna do a little bit to not show them Flare here over the next turn if I can. If I draw like a Cycler, I'd rather show them that, which means nothing. Even Blitz is just a random removal spell. So now I can just Blitz and then attack for lethal. Keep the Flare hidden. Not much sideboarding to do. We're using like every playable we could, basically. Zenith Flare is really egregious. It really is. It would have been a fine card for limited if it just didn't hit players. It could be the exact same card, add on common, and not hit players. If you want to make it hit players to make it a standard card, then you got to make it rare or mythic. You really have to. Like, there's no excuse. Like, if it was rare, I'd be sitting here saying how it should have been mythic, but at least it's rare. Uncommon, there's really no excuse. Limited revolves around the commons and uncommons. They show up very frequently. You can't have it. So we don't have any 1-mana cyclers. A little bit of a slow hand, but that's alright. We can start cycling now. And then we've got Reflection for next turn. I think I am going to cycle. Yeah, we have 2 cyclers and then Reunion, plus a 3rd cycler if we draw white. So I don't mind cycling, getting nothing out of it for now. I just want to dig through my deck. I think Reptilian Reflection could not have Trample. That would be nice. But I don't think Reptilian Reflection is ruining limited. People can kill it. It's a good card. But it is an uncommon, not a common. People could kill it. Zenith Flare is just like, you can't interact with it. Like, Zenith Flare is a joke. Alright, I don't think we're going to have the luxury here of reunioning away lands. Especially now that we drew the ultimatum, we're way less worried about Flood. So I think what I'm going to do now is Reunion and try and dig up lands, draw 3 new cards immediately. I'm going to get rid of, like, the Mayor I can't cycle, the Tactician I can't cast or cycle, and I guess Crystal is just worse than Sails if I'm not casting it. Oh no, I need to get rid of 1 spell here. This way I can blitz the 4/2 if I want to. So I'll get rid of the Sails. Oh no, never mind. The Reunion's a spell. Wait, what am I saying? You only discard 2 cards, not 3. Okay, so I'll just discard those and the Reunion's a spell. Don't mind me. I'm losing my mind a little. I am old. And now we'll just blitz away the 4/2 and continue about our business. So 3 red, 1 white, 1 blue. So this produces blue. So if we draw planes, we can play Crystal and then we can cast Ultimatum. If we draw a Pacifism, we can pacify Tigerilla, cycle just to work towards Ultimatum and hit them for 5. That looks good. Sails looks way less useful than a 3/6, which we may or may not cast. So let's start by cycling Sails. We do need a 3rd mountain, so we can play that, play Pacifism, and then we can evaluate end of their turn whether we're going to cycle, just a cycle, or whether we'll on-tap cycle to attack for 5. Let's see what they do here. Like, if they leave their mana up, they'll probably have removal. They're not playing a creature. I'm going to cycle development end of turn. If they cast that, I'm not sure what to do. Probably just cycle the development on my turn. This way I can attack for 5. We're pretty far ahead on the race. That's another decent card to play here. Although, now that we can protect our 2/2 from, like, Fire Prophecy with development, I'm actually going to cycle the 3/6. But if they want to race, cool. We're gaining life every time we cycle. If they want to trade, I'm happy with that. So now I can play the plains, and we're 1 island away from Ultimato. What did I do wrong this time? I need blue as well for what? I don't know what I did wrong here. Everything looks fine. I have 3 red, 2 white. I just need 1 blue. Oh, yeah, I probably... I mean, I didn't really want to cast Crystal, but I probably should have cycled the Sails. I probably said Sails and just grabbed Crystal. Don't mind me, it's early. 4 p.m., if anybody didn't get that joke. Okay, end of turn. Do I want to cycle? Yes, because if I find the island, we can cast Ultimato. If not, we still have another cycler anyway. We'll just cycle the 2 mana 1 end of turn, see what we get. So Plains doesn't help us, but Island turns us on for next turn. So for this turn... Well, I already have Island and Ultimatum, and I am even protected from Cavern Whisperer because I'm not playing this Plains. So I could go for Blood. What can they have with this mana up? Fire Prophecy doesn't really blow me out. They'll kill the Reflection instead of the healer. I'll still kill the Mentor. I'm fine with that. Is there any instant removal here? Heartless Act. Heartless Act would blow me out. Alright, we're in a comfortable position. I don't think it's worth that risk. I'll just hit for 5. I don't want to go for Blood and have them Heartless Act in response. I doubt they have it, but it's just so unnecessary. Flame Spill as well. You're right, chat. Next turn, we can Ultimatum. We can, like, kill the Tigerilla, draw 5 cards, gain 5. Then we can play a land and cycle Go for Blood and turn on the Reflection. I mean, it's hard to lose when you draw 5. Let's be real. Draw 5, kill your opponent's best creature, gain 5. Like, good luck to the opponent, you know? If we hit them for 5, 10, 12, we're still 2 points short. Again, I see no reason to take any risks. We're not going to lose the game after we kill their best creature and draw 5 and gain 5. Let's just cast the old Ultimato. Maybe they'll concede. Maybe we'll get to draw a fistful of new cards here in the middle of the game. Oh yeah, all ultimatums are called ultimatos, if you didn't know that. That's just the correct, like, pronunciation. I mean, you can call them whatever you want, but, like, that is the official pronunciation. They are ultimatos. Mutato, mutato, ultimatum, ultimato. Or ultimato. Right, it's from Greek, exactly. Mofungo knows. Yeah, this game is just a joke. Like, I didn't do everything perfect, but like I said, it's really hard to focus that hard when I know I can't lose. Like, it's literally like a joke. So they're at 12. Zenith Flares for 7. They've got 1 card in hand, and I've got 8. Sure. I guess let's Flame Spill the Grower. If they grow it in response, it'll still die, right? The spilling here happens when it resolves. It's not like I assign 3 and 1. And then we can even attack, and if they block post-combat, I can play Thundermane and cycle Dranith Stinger and kill the Mentor. If they take it, I'll probably just play Marmoset instead. Alright, so they blocked, so I'll take the kill on the 3 toughness creature. I don't see why not. Don't mind if I do. I don't have a ton more cycling. I don't need the Stinger out. Remember, this is killing it and drawing a card. This is like cantrip removal. Because we get to cycle it, so we get our new card. I guess if we trade, they die to the Marmoset, and if they take it, they die to the Zenith Flare right now. So I should attack. If they block, it's a good trade. It clears the way for the Marmoset next turn, and I even have Scatter for a creature. If they take it, I just cycle once and then Zenith Flare them out. I mean, like I said, it's really hard to focus on exactly what's optimal when one way you play the game you're 100% and the other way you're 99.9999 or whatever. Like, this is just a bloodbath from all angles. I'm at above starting life total. I'm holding an uncommon that can deal them lethal soon, almost certainly. I've got 6 cards in hand to their 1. I mean, it's just like, this isn't fair. That's the only way I can say it. This is just not fair. The cycle deck is not... It's still tier 1 without Zenith. Like, if Zenith doesn't exist, or if you don't get one, but you get a decent amount of the cycling stuff, if you get a Thunderman, 2 Tacticians, 2 Granite Stingers, a Healer, and a bunch of common cyclers and some removal, that's a tier 1 deck, but it's not unfair, necessarily. Don't think I can keep this 1-lander on the play. We don't have a 1-mana cycler. We don't even have a lot of 2-mana cyclers, just the 1. I think we have to mull this. Alright, we'll put back an island. That doesn't help us towards our expensive spell. It's triple red, 2 blue, and 2 white. Thank you, chats nicely. I always appreciate that. I don't understand why everybody's got to be so mean. Like, I disagree with people. I argue with people all the time. There's just, you can do it nicely. You don't have to be mean, right? Thank you, chats nicely, for subscribing and supporting my channel. Also for chatting nicely. I agree. Ben chat is the best chat. Well, this works out nicely. We can now kill that Parcel Beast with Gopher Blood. So let's, I mean, I don't know if we cycle first or attack first. I guess if they block, that's even better for us. So we can attack first. But either way, we're going to cycle Hampering Snare. I mean, they're never going to block here. It would be horrible. So we'll cycle Hampering Snare to get to 4 power. Not going to let them start drawing 2 cards a turn here. They can resolve Gigantha, but I'm not that scared of a 5/5. I have a 2/3 first strike that can grow much bigger. What I am scared of is them drawing 2 cards a turn. So now our 4/3 can fight their 2/4, and life is good. Companions are also broken. Those are actually my only 2 serious objections to the format. Like, look, I hate all broken cards. I would gladly remove Vivian from the set. Vivian would be on my ban from limited list. That black-green 7-mana mythic I had last week that, like, brings your whole graveyard back, that would be on my ban from limited list. But my only 2 real objections to the set, cycling is too good, Zenith should be mythic, Tactician should be uncommon, and companions should not exist in limited. If you want to put them in your deck, that's fine. Gyruda is a good card to cast, Karuk is a good card to cast, it's not, like, too broken. I mean, they are really good, they're broken rares, but whatever. But, like, the mechanics should be banned from limited. Ephro said this, like, 2 weeks ago. Just, like, it's not even like you have to remove the companions from the packs. Just ban the mechanic from limited. That's all you have to do. Okay, for now, we can play one more island, and then we need a mountain and a plains to win the game. I'm not going to cycle the sails right now, because if they give flying to the otter, I want to sails it, because I really don't want them to hit me with the otter. They might do something else like Gust of Wind, and then I'll cycle the sails. But I don't think it's worth cycling main phase when one of the things they might do is give this flying. There's several ways to do that. Dream Heron at common, Avian Oddity at uncommon. So, I mean, if they have a Dream Heron in hand, I would feel very foolish if I cycled sails. Now they're tapped out basically for the turn. I'm going to cycle sails now, and then I'll scatter Gigantha unless we find a weird reason not to. Okay, plains we can play. Now we're in really good shape. We can draw a plains or a mountain, right? No. We have to draw a mountain. We need 3 red. But it is the one we have 6 of, so we got 4 mountains in there to play our ultimatum for the win. I'm going to kill Otter. You know how scared I am of that card. And that means I don't have to leave Marmoset back either, which is always nice. And it's not like I want them to mutate instead. Like, who cares if they now cast Heron instead of putting Heron on the Otter or something? That makes no real difference to me. I just don't want to see them start drawing 2 cards a turn. Oh, Mountain, the perfect land. Unfortunately, we can't kill the 3/6. It's hexproof, right? But that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and whack them for 5. I see no need to kill a Naturalist. So let's me gain 5. They take 5. I draw 5. Life is good. Thank you, Ultimato. No, Vivian wasn't removed from Limited. I'm saying it would be on my removed from Limited list. I'm not saying it was removed from Limited. It was not. Thank you, Kotzwagen. Appreciate the subscription. I know it's tough times, but thank you to everybody who, you know, if you can afford it, who does support my stream. It is very much appreciated. I would love to design sets for Limited. Thank you, Kalamanisos. Appreciate the subscription, even if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Do appreciate the support. Not sure if we want to just cast this Vandasaur or hold it now. Thank you, Morgil. Appreciate the little mini sub-train. Thank you again to everybody who chooses to support my stream. Really, really do appreciate it. Y'all are the reason I'm able to play Magic for a living, so thank you. I do want to cycle and get to that flare for the win, but a 3/6 is an okay creature. It can't go through a 5/8 unless I attack with everything at once, but I'm not far from being able to do that. I also really want to resolve the Thundermane, and they may have Essence Scatter, so I think I'm going to lead just casting the Vantasaur. They'll probably scatter it if they have it, and then I can hopefully resolve Thundermane. Even though I don't have more Cyclers in hand, my deck is a lot of Cyclers. We've drawn almost all the lands in our deck, and there's Cathartic Reunion. So as you can see, now we have Healer, Development, Reunion to cycle for 3 new cards, Stinger, Go for Blood, Crystal, Mare, Leak. We have a lot of Cyclers left. So I really want to get this Thundermane out because it's kind of a board-dominating card. This 5/8 may brickwall us for now, but if they play a big creature, I have Blade Banish. If they play a small creature, I've got Thundermane and a million Cyclers in my deck. And we're under no pressure. We're at 26 life. So the plan is just to win with Zenith later, and in the meantime to just keep the stalemate rolling. Thank you, Magic Azador. Really appreciate that subscription. Okay, I see no reason not to kill Otter. You know I live in fear of Otter. We'll get a new card. Cathartic Reunion or Zenith are our best draws. But in the meantime, if we draw 2 more Cyclers in a row, we can attack with Marmoset, potentially. So that's an interesting one. So I can cycle and shock the Naturalist for my 2 life and all that. And then if I draw another Cycler, I can attack with the Marmoset. Oh, I don't have enough mana, though. I was going to say if I cycled and shocked the Naturalist, and then I drew another Cycler, I could shock the Naturalist again, and then they'd be forced to block the Marmoset. But I don't really have enough mana to do that. So I'm just going to play it chill. There's just no need to do anything too risky here. The Heron, the Terron's a good brick wall, but we know I have Zenith in my deck to win with. Why am I in a rush? If I get 3 Cyclers, then I can attack into the Terran with the Marmoset. In the meantime, I'm just going to chill. A lot of my deck cycles. There's even a Cathartic Reunion in there. Basically, life is good. If they have a bomb, I can Blade Banish it. I can scatter it. And unless it's a bomb that gains life, it's probably not going to kill me before Zenith Flare. Remember, it's not really a 16-card deck. Healer cycles, so it's a 15-card deck. Development, so 14. Reunion draws 3 new cards. Stinger cycles, Crystal cycles. Like, half my deck cycles, and there's a draw 3 in there. Alright, given we have Blade Banish, I'll scatter anything decent, but I'm not going to scatter a 1-3. That does nothing. If they attack here, we clearly take it, but then we can attack back with Marmoset. So, since we drew another Cycler, it gets interesting. I could double shock off the Goriak and then attack with both. It's probably not worth it, though. I think I just want to play Stinger here, and then I can attack with Marmoset. If they block, like with Goriak, I cycle Go for Blood, deal them a point, kill the Goriak. If they block with Naturalist, whatever, same difference. I think I kind of want the Stinger out. It's just another relevant body. It's going to ping them each time I cycle. This game's going nowhere fast. And then I still have my attack with Marmoset. There's nothing good they can do. Whatever they block it with, I can kill with a cycle. Unless they have a trick, this does nothing. And if they have a trick, I have Blade Banish too. So... Again, this is pretty comfortable. If they triple block, all I have to do is kill Goriak, and then 2 1-3s don't kill a 2-3. I may only kill one creature, but they're not killing my Marmoset with a triple block. The triple block doesn't really do anything. Alright, so they blocked. Let's cycle. We're going to eat that 1-3. Maybe we'll draw another Cycler. Maybe we won't. So let's go ahead and shock the Goriak in case we do draw another Cycler. We didn't, no problem. Free kill. I'm actually not even going to play the Tactician this turn because I don't want to play another land because we do have Cathartic Reunion in our 14-card deck. So I want to leave up Scatter. And then next turn I'll just play Tactician. Okay. I'm not going to play Healer. We're out in front life total-wise. It's 25-6. I don't need to gain one. I played the Stinger because the pinging feels useful. Because we might win this game without Zenith. And for all we know, they're holding like a Neutralize or something. It is possible that they're able to stop Zenith. So I do want to try and be able to win with creatures. But the Stinger contributes to that with them at such a low life total. The Healer is just a 2-2 gains life, and I'm at 25. And Thundermane even gains more life. The card is called Snare Tactician. Voxy has officially trademarked it, so don't try and profit from the name. But you're allowed to use it casually for yourself. But you can't, like, make official content that you're selling with that name or anything. Pretty happy to scatter that. If they play something big, I can banish it. If they play something small, I can Thundermane it. A 3-3 is the exact size I'm looking to banish. Alright, 2 Cyclers. I don't see a reason, really, not to kill Goriak and draw 2 new cards. If we draw one more Cycler, we can then attack with Marmoset into the Terran. I don't really care if we are able to do that or not. Either way, I'm happy to kill the 2-4, ping them for 2, and get 2 cards deeper into my deck right now. Okay, and we did draw it, so life is definitely good. Well, now they're just dead, because one of these creatures gets through, and we can actually just cast Startling Development for the win. So we actually just win right now. And we know that the only card in their hand is an Otter, so... Cycling is not fair. I know that's sarcasm, Lucid, but I am just agreeing. It is not fair. Alright, we know they have Gigantha on Companion, so we definitely want our Blade Banish in, because it's never dead. I don't think there's much else to do. They have a couple of otters. We could consider Springjaw Trap. I do live in fear of otters. Otters scare me. They didn't have that much removal or that many ways to push the otters through, though. We have Double Scatter. We have Healer and Stinger to block with, and Marmoset and Tactician and Mare. I don't think I'm that scared. I mean, otters do scare me, and we saw 2 of them. But I have a lot of things that block it fine. And we didn't see a Dream Heron. We didn't see very many ways for them to get those otters past our creatures. Well, the thing about this deck that makes it so unfair is the Ultimatum and the Zenith Flare can't be interacted with. If you change those 2 cards to like a Fox and a 2-mana 3/1, my deck is still quite good, but maybe they just draw removal and kill my Fox or kill my 3/1. It's near impossible to interact with like Zenith Flare, with sorceries and instants in Limited. That's why, you know, they go away when you play them. So as long as they're not game winning, okay, you kill their best creature, but that's it. You don't get this recurring effect. But Zenith Flare and Jeskai Ultimatum are both game winning. They're both just end the game cards. Yeah, Ultimatum takes some work. You have to play 3 colors, you have to have the right mana, you have to draft crystals higher. I have not said they should change Jeskai Ultimatum. It's a powerful card, but it's a cool card. Zenith Ultimatum is late. I mean, Zenith Ultimatum is what I should call it. Zenith Flare, which we should call Zenith Ultimatum from now on, is just too much. We should call it Zenith Ultimatum. I said that on accident, but, like, that is what we should call the card. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It is an ultimatum. Alright, I'm not going to cycle a Stinger. I'm just going to cast it. Zenith Ultimatum. So we have plenty of mana and nothing to do with it, so I don't think we want to cast the crystal right now. Just going to see what's up. I might block their Symbiote, I might not. I mean, I didn't last turn, because if they grew it, I could Blade Banish it and get an awesome 2-for-1. I mean, now if they attack with the Symbiote, I'm definitely going to block, because they have the ability to grow it with the Mentor. Of course, I'm not going to chump block, so we'll just take that. And a turn cycle the worst of the 2 crystals. So, we can't find anything and live with the Stinger. If we had 1 more mana, we could play Mare and go for Blood the Symbiote. That would be nice, but we're mana short. So it looks like we're going to Blade Banish the Mole if they grow it. So what are we doing this turn? I guess we want to cast Mare. Because now we can double block like the Mole, and it'll only grow to a 4/4. Or I can block Mare on Symbiote, and that's a pretty good trade since the Symbiote has Trample and will keep growing. And I'm not worried about using Blade Banish here, because they have Gigantha, so I know Blade Banish isn't going to be dead. We could Snare and fight if that comes up. I'm in no way against it. But it's not really worth it just to kill a 3/3. I'd rather just kill a 2/2. And remember, I can just cycle and get a new card. I practically have Jeskai Ultimatum mana already. I need to draw either a Plains or an Island to have Jeskai Ultimatum mana. Because I have 3 mountains, and then blue-white dual, blue-white dual, white. So, I mean, we're pretty comfortable. So I'm just going to cycle the fight. Because now they could grow it. I don't need to 2-for-1 myself to deal with this stuff. I'm just gonna dig for Blade. I'm just gonna dig for Jeskai Ultimatum and for Zenith, for Thundermane. I've already got Blade Banish to take out one of these two big creatures. Marmoset is nice too. Actually, I'm not even going to play that now because if I draw Jeskai Ultimatum next turn, yeah, I'll play this Crystal. But if I draw a Plains Road Island, I'm only one Plains or Island away. I can still draw either one because I have a blue-white duel. So I might rather cycle this Crystal than put it into play. Because we don't know what we're going to draw, right? Like, let's say I draw Ultimatum. Yeah, I want to cast this Crystal. But let's say I draw Plains next turn. I could run out of steam. I'd rather dig to Cathartic Reunion, dig to Zenith Flare, dig to Ultimatum. I don't have the Ultimatum in my hand or anything. I absolutely think cycling and Zenith Flare is standard playable, but I'm not saying it's optimal. I have no idea. But I definitely think it's playable. I don't mind cycling for one existing. I actually don't think that's the problem. I think the payoffs being too good, too many, and too hard to interact with are the problems. Like I said, Snare Tactician should have been an uncommon. Zenith Flare shouldn't exist or should be a mythic. I don't mind cycling one existing. I think that's totally fine. So if I double block, they'll put the mare first. They'll grow. It's a 2 for 2. I can snare. That would just save the stinger. Again, I don't need to 2 for 1 myself. I'm in a comfortable enough position. I would gladly use snare to kill one creature. You know, if I could just block, play snare, and eat a creature, I'd happily do it. But I just don't need to 2 for 1 myself. End of turn, I'm going to cycle Sails. We haven't really seen flyers and artifacts out of them. So let's see. We can now Blade Banish the 5/5 Mole. Then I can't attack. I could Blade Banish the 4/4. Then I get to attack with both creatures. They take 5. I gain 3. That seems good. I don't hate racing. But I did draw Thundermane, which I wouldn't mind casting. They do have Convolute up, and we saw that last game. That's true. So I don't really want to cast Blade Banish here. Can't cast Reunion and get that convoluted, though. So I guess we can just pass the turn. This way, if they're going to convolute Blade Banish, they do it on their turn. And then at least they can't cast Gigantha, which gives us another turn to hit our 2 scatters, or to Cathartic Reunion into those scatters. I think at this point we may need to accept 2 for 1-ing ourselves with the Symbiote. It's gotten too big. I don't really mind. Not great, but if I can wipe their board, I'm happy. Like you said, they're probably going to convolute this Blade Banish, but if we get the convolute out of their hand, then we can resolve Reunion, Thundermane, other things. So I'm going to Blade Banish the Mole. Don't know if it's going to resolve or not. So we're going to be at 8. So with Thundermane blocking Mentor, we can still take 1 more hit from Mole. We also have Pacifism. That'll be a good draw. So I think first and foremost, we should Reunion. See if we hit Pacifism. We don't really have stuff in particular to discard, but I mean, I guess there's nothing else we can really do right now. We're not going to be able to double cycle to shock off anything. We don't have enough mana. So let's Reunion. I'm going to discard the 2/2s. We need to be able to play Thundermane since it blocks Mentor, and we need to block Mentor. Play a land. I think we can double cycle next turn if they don't make us trade, but they probably will. But I guess I can always just cycle in a turn if they do. So that seems fine. So if they attack with both, we have to put the Thundermane on the Mentor. If they attack with just the Mole, then we'll just take the Mole. I don't really need to use Snare to keep Dratistinger in play. I'm not pinging them to death. I'd rather cycle Snare and cycle more, because I need to find Jeskai Ultimatum or Zenith Flare to win this game. I don't really want to keep Stinger in play. They're at 17. That's not really helping me. So we can double shock the Mentor and go to 6. We still die. That doesn't work. So yeah, we need to find Pacifism or something. So I'm going to do the 2-mana Cycler into their turn. We have some good draws. We have Zenith Flare, Pacifism, and Jeskai Ultimatum, which can help us here. So it's not like we have no ways out of this or no good draws. In our 18-card deck, Pacifism stops the Mole. Jeskai Ultimatum is 1 short on the Mole, but we gain 5. Which actually doesn't save us. They still have exactly lethal 3, 9, and this has trample. Snare Tactician could tap all this stuff. Snare Tactician would be a really good draw. And Zenith Flare. We could draw that. So we have Pacifism, Zenith Flare, and Snare Tactician. Ultimatum's actually 1 short because of the Terran. So I guess let's just start cycling. I'm not going to pay. Okay, there's Pacifism. Still not looking good, but it's not over. Now we can cycle, gain 2 and go to 4, take 3 and go back to 1. So it's not over yet. And if we find Zenith Flare for Terran, or Ultimatum now, or Snare Tactician plus Cyclers, this is still a winnable game. We can beat a Gigantha out of their hand. I'm not saying we're going to, but we definitely can. If we find Jeskai Ultimatum now, we may win next turn. Or turn the corner. We won't literally lethal them. So we got to block. Gain our 2 life so we don't die. Thank you, Box Pun. Appreciate that subscription. So now we need Zenith Flare or Jeskai Ultimatum. We need one of those 2 cards to stay in this game. Of course, we have Cyclers to help pull them up as well. You can't go to the face with Thundermane. It's just not an option. Thanks for that subscription, Box Pun. Very much appreciate it. Even if I don't like bad puns, I do like good ones. Alright, 3 straight lands, not going to do the job, so now we are dead. Alright, so we know they have all these big creatures. They boarded in the Terrans. You saw me do that last night against the cycling deck. Terran is good against the cycling deck. They don't have much that targets our permanents. We're not really interested in keep safe. Checkpoint would have been good there, but only because we flooded. We've got Double Scatter. We've got Blade Banish. We've got Pacifism. We're not bad against big permanents. It just went how it went. Yeah, Heron would be an okay blocker against those. But I have, like, near nothing to mutate it onto. Why was I losing on Ultimatum draw there? I gained 5. But I was at 2 and I gained 5. So they put me back to 1, but then I have a million cards. I probably find Tactician or Zenith Flare. I think if I drew Ultimatum, the game wasn't over, but I think I was a favorite. Oh, I was at 1, so then I'd have to gain a life, which may or may not have been possible. Another 1-lander, no 1-mana cyclers. I guess I gotta mull this. Alright, not the best, not the worst. My bad. If I was at 1, then yeah, I'd have to draw something off of it. Which I would have had a couple of mana to work with, not like a ton. I'm not sure if I would have had outs or not. So what are we putting back? I mean, Reunion could go back. I mean, it's kind of sweet to dig, but we don't have the Ultimatum. This 5-4 can take something out with a fight. Flamespill can take something out. I think Reunion more of a late game card. I don't think it's really helping us. I'm not going to cycle yet. If we draw 1 land, I want to cycle these after Reflection. Against a blue-green slow deck, I actually want to try and win with the Reflection here if I can. Now I'm going to cycle because I have to, basically. Let's start with the least useful one. I'm doing it now in case I draw the blue-white tap duel. Okay, no luck. So now I have to cycle again into turn, just try and find a land so that I can cast Reflection, Tactician, Flamespill, etc. Okay, at least we won't be horribly mana screwed after the mulligan. We got the land. That's nice. I'm just going to start hitting them for 5 a turn and try to race, most likely. I mean, we'll see what they do, but they're playing Convolute and a bunch of 6-drops. So if they have to take a turn off, that could be really good for us. I don't keep track of my win percentages now. So can they do anything here? I don't think so. What can blue, green, green do if I cycle an attack? Gust of Wind, Scatter, Convolute, Ram Through, but that's not enough damage. It's an instant, but it's not enough. Yeah, you could play any of the cards in our hand there last turn, but I think I just wanted to get the Reflection out before I start cycling and hitting for 5 a turn. I'm not really scared to get low because I have Tactician. Oh, Wilt? Yeah, okay, cool. That's what they had. I mean, remember, we cycled here. It's not like they're 2-for-1ing us or something. I might have went with a different line if I was thinking about Wilt, but it's hardly a big deal. Thanks for gifting out a sub, Dangle. Appreciate the support. So, what do I want to do now? Cycle Crystal, probably, because we don't have... we don't have our Ultimatum or anything like that. And then we have Tactician. We have Go for Blood. We can start tapping things. Let's dig to our power cards. I mean, if we flood, we'll definitely lose this game. And having Reunion on the bottom sucks. We need to resolve, like, Ultimatum, Zenith Flare, like our power cards. Having Tactician out against blue-green is really good. That should buy us a lot of time. This isn't a bell, right? Okay, so we're going to attack. So that was actually a pretty good turn sequence for us. Kind of surprised they didn't cast Gigantha. Lead is fine in this matchup to, you know, restock. But, I mean, while my shields were down, I would have thought they would have rather put Gigantha out. You can always lead later when you don't have creatures to cast anymore. Maybe they were looking for those 3/6s to resolve as soon as possible. But now we'll let the broken common here, Tactician, do its job. Buy us time as we dig for Ultimatum and Zenith to win with. Obviously, I'll scatter anything 5 toughness or higher. If it's like a small creature, then I'll use Blitz or Spill potentially. I mean, I don't think they can really sink mana into Brushwag realistically here. So I probably won't even scatter Brushwag or Blitz Brushwag. But I'm going to Spill the Beast. Just keep tapping the Heron for as much as I can, getting in the free damage. I've got scatters for anything big. If we flood, we're going to lose. 14 lands, but, you know, Reunion's on the bottom. That part kind of sucks. Kind of wish I didn't mull. I'd feel like 10x better if I had the same hand, but I also had a Reunion in it. Alright, that's good enough to scatter. Well, now I feel good again. Because right now it's at 8, and we're poking for 2 pretty successfully here. So I feel pretty good about Zenith Flare to close with. For now, no real rush on Blitz. Nothing to Shredded Sails. Just keep cycling. Also good enough to scatter. Yeah, because I can Blitz the thing that's already in play if I run out of cyclers. That's the reason. Sure. So let's see. I think we want to Blitz the Mentor, because there's no reason to let them grow like other things. If I Blitz one of these 2 creatures, the Mentor's still growing the other one. So for now, I'm going to cycle Snare. They could have Convolute this game. They did leave 3 up and then Wilt. We do want to play around Convolute if we can. Which, given how much mana we have and Flood being our main way to lose, aside from the Ultimatum, we should be able to play around Convolute. Yeah, I believe they could definitely have Scatter as well. That would not shock me. Okay, so now they can't have Convolute, so I'm going to go ahead and kill the Mentor. Even though they can pump the Brushwag, if they tap out, that kind of helps us. I think that's the right one to kill. They can't, whatchamacallit, pump the Brushwag, so I'm going to attack. It's a bluff, but it's a valuable bluff, because if we get them to 9, we win. I don't necessarily think they'll take it, but it's not like we were going to block with the Tactician anyway. They can scatter this, like you said, but I can't really stop them from scattering something. I would play around Convolute because I can make that a dead card, but I can't actually stop them from resolving Scatter. It's not like this creature has Cycling or something. So now we got a game, because we ran out of stuff. They played their Scatter. I know they had Scatter. Again, the goal of Magic is not to stop your opponent from playing their card. If this Marmoset's in my hand and that Scatter's in theirs, it's not really helping me. Maybe I strand 2 Brushwag mana, but if they move it on Brushwag, maybe I Zenith Flare them out. Obviously, I'm going to lose if I draw lands here, and I'm going to win if I draw Cyclers, or if I draw a Jeskai Ultimatum. So, now what do we do? Do we want a Zenith Flare, the Brushwag, and play for the long game? Or do we want to hold Zenith Flare to use on them? Since they chose to go all in. We still have Jeskai Ultimatum. I do hate that Reunion's on the bottom. Let's see what our library looks like real quick. Pacifism, Stinger, Healer, Thundermane, Splendor. We don't have that many cyclers. If we take 11, we're at 3. We have to stop both of these next turns. So we have to draw 2 cyclers if we're not flaring. I think we kind of have to flare here. Buys us a lot of time. We do have the ability to win. Like, if we draw Ultimatum and clear the board, we can just win with Thundermane and Dranis Stinger and Snare Tactician. So, I mean, I think we need all that time. It's unfortunate that we drew a couple lands in a row, but we did. If I flare them, the Brushwag's attacking me for 7 again this turn. Now I have some time to draw Jeskai Ultimatum or Cyclers. Pacifism to take care of the only threat would be good too. I have a lot of pretty good draws. And it's only a 14-land deck. There's only 6 more lands in that whole deck. Not that that's going to stop me from drawing all of them. Since Reunion's on the bottom, there's no real need to hold the 2 lands now. Well, I can pay for Convolute. I just have to get to 11. I've already got 9. 10 now. 4 lands left in the rest of the deck. This game was won and lost because of the mulligan. If I had Cathartic Reunion, I would have discarded the 2 lands, drawn 3 new cards, and I would have almost certainly won this game. Literally having to put Cathartic Reunion on the bottom cost us this game. Obviously, Flood out too, but if we just had the same game without mulliganing, we have Cathartic Reunion, we get to discard the 2 lands, and then we win the game. Anyways, still a great draft. I mean, yeah, it's an unlucky finals loss, but we went 2-1. That deck was a 3-0 potential deck. It was super sweet. Flood happens even to pros, unfortunately. It shouldn't. It shouldn't happen to pros, but it does. I would have played 1 less land without Ultimatum. I played 14. Without Ultimatum, I would have played 13. No, I was not rank 1 in Mythic. My Mythic ranking was not good in April. I got up, the highest I ever was like 200 and something, and I finished like 94% or 93% or something, not even in the top 1500. I know, that's what I'm saying, Codis. Why be a pro if it doesn't prevent Flood? I'm going to refill my water and be right back. Sorry. I do need water to keep talking as I stream for 5 hours. So, Mythos of Snapdax, if you start with it, can be quite good. This card is weird. If you pay 2 colorless, 2 white for it, it's usually not very good. But if you pay 2 colorless, or if you pay 2 white, a red, and a black for it, then it is very good. Because then you give them their smallest creature instead of their best creature. So, and if you pacified something, you can even leave them that creature. So if you play Mardu, this card is actually good. Chittering Harvester's a nice uncommon. It's not broken. It's not Shore Shark level, but it is a good card. Same thing with Recluse. Scatter is better than Deadweight by a lot in this format. Capture Sphere is a little worse than Scatter. I think they're both good. So I think the best common here is Scatter. The best uncommon is Harvester. And the rare is really good if you go actual Mardu. I don't really like trying to draft White Control. I think Harvester is the right first pick. It's close with... all three of those are close. The thing is, it's not like you have to play Mardu, right? You can play like a white-blue control or whatever and just have like a couple of tap duels and an Evolving Wilds to use Mythos of Snapducks. But I'm telling you, with that white mythic, I have a high degree of confidence in this. If you can't pay the red and the black, it's still playable, but it's not a very good card. If you can pay the red and the black, it's a great card. It's a great card. You leave them, they're 1/1, they're 0/2, they're pacified creature. You choose which creature you keep and which they keep. So if you can pay the red and the black, you put out like a couple of creatures, you keep your best one, you sack your little one, you sandbag like a medium one, and then you wipe their board and leave them their 1/1, or you leave them their pacified creature. Alright, here it's clearly an easy Blood Curdle. Even if this was pick one, pack one, I would take Blood Curdle over Splendor Mare. I think Blood Curdle is the best common in the set. I think Blood Curdle is fantastic. Splendor Mare would be my second choice. If you can pay the red and the black, you can really work that card. Alright, so now we do have to make a choice. Dire Tactics is the best card in this pack. Black-White Humans is a good deck, though Harvester's not at its best there. Black-Red Sack is a good deck. Black-Blue Control can be good, but, I mean, then we can't use Tactics or Harvester effectively, necessarily. Black-Green Mutate is good, which is what we're hoping for with Harvester, but we're not going to be taking Mole here. So, I mean, our pick here is basically Mutual Destruction, which is good in any black deck, but especially good in Black-White Humans or Black-Red Sack. Dire Tactics, which is definitely better than Mutual Destruction if we end up Black-White. But, of course, it's a Black-White-Gold card. So it's a pick between Destruction and Tactics. I think because we have Harvester, I'm going to go Destruction. I'm not forcing green. If we keep seeing good white, I'll just play Black-White. But Chittering Harvester is a good card in Black-Green Mutate, and pretty good in Black-Red Sack, and it's not very good in Black-White, where most of your creatures are humans. I'm not saying we won't play white. I think Black-White Humans is a good archetype, but I think staying mono-black when our black uncommon doesn't want us to be black-white, when there's a good black common removal and a little bit better black-white uncommon removal, I think that makes sense. Okay, so Boot Nipper here. If you do go black-red, Weaponize the Monsters is really good, but again, we don't have a second color yet. So let's just go ahead and take Boot Nipper. This card is excellent. Maybe I'll just draft mono black. If they're never going to force me in any direction, I'll just... yeah, green seems super cut. I do agree. We'll probably play black-white or black-red based on what we're seeing. For now, there's Whisper and Boot Nipper. Splendor Mare is a little better than those, but again, it's not enough of a reason to go into a color. It's barely even better than these cards. I mean, I like Cavern Whisperer the best, but again, if we're not going to see black-green, then I like it a little less. I think I'm just going to take the Boot Nipper. I'm a big fan of the Boot Nipper. I mean, lifelink when you need life. Death Touch means it's never a blank, and it can always trade up. It's just an excellent card. So, as we talked about, we're going to be black-red or black-white. We just don't know which yet. You can see we're seeing decent red cards here, like Mentor. Good white cards like Officer for black-white humans. Mutual Destruction as well. We're definitely going to go black-white or black-red. We're not seeing blue, we're not seeing green. We're seeing black, white, and red in this seat. That's clear. But now, do we want to take Fight as one? Officer, Mutual Destruction? It's not an easy pick. Yeah, I'll make myself smaller in a second. I guess I'll just stick with the Destruction until we're forced in a direction, because, I mean, we're going to prioritize, like, Coil Bugs or Sack Steel Synergy or something. Even humans, they just make so many little creatures, so Mutual Destruction is excellent in black-white humans. Triple Nip. Maybe we'll just get to play mono black. Who knows? Deadeye's certainly better than Memory Leak. Booty Nipper number 4 or Mutual Destruction number 3. I mean, I do need the stuff that synergizes with Destruction, but there is a lot of it. Coilbug's excellent. All the human-making stuff is excellent. Whisper Squads are excellent with it. The red steal a creature now that we have so many. Yeah, black is super open, that's for sure. I think I'm going to take Destruction because that's the more synergy-based one. So now we can play all those red steal a creature cards and stuff like that. I don't think any of these cards are very likely to make our deck. I'll just grab that. That doesn't steal things. I don't know. We probably won't play any of these. Ooh, Weaponize. So now with Weaponize and 3 Destructions, if we can go black-red sack, we already have the sack outlets. I'm not saying we're going to do that. Like, I don't know if we're going to play red or white with our black. But if we can see copies of the common 4 mana steal a creature, that's just a good card with 3 Mutual Destructions and a Weaponize. Black-white duel. We know we're not playing green. So there's the common I was talking about, but there is also a really good uncommon for white-black humans here. I mean, Enforcer is definitely better than Connection, but our deck does want to be black-red sack more than it wants to be black-white humans with 3 Mutual Destructions. And we did get Weaponize, a nice build-around back for the black-red deck. Scorpion's fine in this deck, but, like, it's not an early pick. We're not taking Scorpion. Scorpion and Easy Prey or whatever. Like, we're definitely taking either the Great Red card or the Great White card for us. Yeah, I think the black-red sack is the most open for us. I think that makes the most sense. Tentative Connection with Mutual Destruction is just really good. Well, you know we're going to take Dustfang Mentor. Because Boot Nippers have lifelink. And then you can give lifelink to something else. And then you can grow your whole squad. Dustfang Mentor with triple Booty Nipper is just awesome. Alright, nothing exciting here, but Cavern Whisper is good. We're going to have plenty to put it on. We're looking to draft Forbidden Friendships aggressively with these 3 Mutual Destructions and Weaponize. We're looking to draft Coilbugs aggressively. For now, it's between Destruction and Poacher. I still think 4th Destruction is better. I know that's a lot of Destructions, but just because we have 4 now doesn't mean we're going to finish with 10. Like, we shouldn't just keep seeing this number of them. Nice closer that cycles. Again, we want these weapons. It's really important these tentative connections are never dead. And yeah, if we were going to end up with 10 Mutual Destructions, I would never have taken the 3rd and 4th there. But, like, we can't assume we're going to keep seeing them at the rate that we're seeing them at this point. Because we're seeing them way above expectancy. So we'll probably get, like, 1 more the rest of the draft, which is fine. Poacher's good, too, but, you know, we don't have the Whisper Squads yet. We don't have any Coilbugs yet. Poacher's a sack outlet that makes you want recurring creatures. Yes, that's what we're trying to draft. And, yes, I want Poacher and that. But for now, I think it makes more sense for us to grab the Destruction, which you only sack 1 creature to. Easy Forbidden Friendship here. I like Unbreakable Bond or Ceratops for this deck just fine, but Friendship is the card we need. Now, while I do want Friendships and Farfinders with all these Destructions, not over Fire Prophecy, of course. Now we can take Poacher. We're not taking it over anything great. We still haven't picked up anything that it particularly works with. But we are looking for Coilbugs. We are looking for Whisper Squads. Yeah, 7th pick Parcel Beast there was weird. I guess Blue-Green got cut off really well, Pack 1. Remember Pack 1, we saw incredible red and black. So hopefully we'll get rewarded in Pack 3. We could definitely use a couple Whisper Squads or a Coilbug or 2. Tentative Connection is just an incredible removal spell in our deck. Take their creature, sack it to Destruction, which we have 4 of, or sack it to Weaponize. or Poacher. I would love more Threatens. But as long as we have stuff that works with Destruction, I don't mind if we don't have Threatens. Like, for example, Forbidden Friendship works really well with Destruction, giving us 2 1/1 tokens. So we do need more stuff that works with Destruction, but that can be Coilbug, Whisper Squad, Friendship, or Tentative Connection. So a lot of different commons. With Ikoria, they debuted human drafts with Ikoria. I mean, it would be nice to make it cheaper, but it's not important. It's only 5 mana to take it for 4, then sack it for 1. I don't know. I have no idea. Panpoda. I assume they'll get the creature, I guess. I've never seen that or done that or had anybody do it. I don't like the Clash of Titans. I'll play it if I'm like red-green all creatures or something. But I have not found it to be incredibly powerful. I found it to be incredibly situational. Sometimes you 2-for-1 them, but a lot of times you can't kill what you really need to kill. Ceratops is fine in this deck, but given all these cards are like better and we have so many, I assume it's not going to make our deck. Unlike that long speech I gave you with the white Mythos, you do not have to kick the red Mythos at all. This is just a 4-mana kill a creature that can also kill 2 or 3 small creatures. It's like a mini one-sided Wrath. And the kicker part is useful in like breaking stalemates in the late game when you just target all 5 creatures or something. But it's completely unnecessary. This card is better than Rock Slide, even with 0 ability to kick it. So I'm not excited by a Rock Slide. I'd seriously take a Coilbug over it at this point. It's still a fine removal spell. I don't think we need Caves for a 2-color deck over Rock Slide here. But yeah, it's not an exciting card for us or anything. Tentative Connection, on the other hand. 4 Mutual Destructions and Weaponize and Poacher. So we have 6 sack outlets. That's infinite. Tentative Connection is just great hard removal for this deck. I think I might even have a Dark Bargain, which I might play. I think it is decent in this deck. So now there's 2 cards I really want. Commando and Connection. Connection being the great hard removal with Destruction, but Commando giving us 2 bodies on turn 3. Attack with the Death Touch Booty Nipper. Get it and a 1/1 token. Then we can sack the 1/1 token to Destruction. I think the Connection's a little better, but I also do think it has a much higher chance to wheel. And I do think the Commando's really good for us, too. I think I'm going to take Commando because we don't have a lot of 3-drops, and there's a chance that the Connection will wheel. It might not, but I don't think the Commando's going to wheel. I think there's a small chance the Connection will wheel. Let's take a look at the Wolverine. 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's going to be on sometimes. Go for Blood isn't useful. Our creatures are small. I'll pick up that 1 more Destruction. We've got Friendship, Commando, 2 Connections. I know, I really wanted a Coilbug pretty badly. I'm not happy about that. Thank you, Izzy Kun. Appreciate that subscription. This deck would be ridiculous with 2 Coil Bugs or like 3 Whisper Squads. As is, I think this deck is good, but I don't think it's incredible. We don't have a ton of small early stuff. Like, we have some. We have enough. But, like, for this deck to be incredible, we would need, like, 2 Coil Bugs, or we would need, like, 2 more Forbidden Friendships. A 4-2 could definitely be decent. I just don't think it's going to make it. It's not better than anything we have out there. I don't think there's any way any of these cards are going to make our deck. I'll take the Scorpion in case I really want one more early play. You know the deal. Never ask me what the win cons are. I kill them with kindness. That's my strategy. Me and Selena Gomez. So this will probably be a 16 lander. I do want my top end here because I don't have a ton of it. Got to cut like 1 card. Spell Eater Wolverine is cuttable. Weaponized maybe, but I mean it is a sack outlet, but we don't have a ton of little bodies or anything. So I think 16 lands. We have a cycler and our curve's pretty low. I don't think I have any menace creatures. I mean, I don't really care, but... I like Weaponize a lot in these decks in general, but I didn't get the Friendships, or the Whisper Squads, or the Coil Bug, so I think I am just going to cut the Weaponize, which makes me sad. But without Coil Bugs, you lose the auto combo. I don't think we need the bargain to restock. I think 16 lands, plus just like all our removal and everything will be fine. I don't want to cut Rock Slide, like, we're turning on Spell Eater Wolverine. We need to deal with, like, big things, too. I mean, I guess we have all the Mutual Destructions, but we're just looking to play, like, long, grindy games for the most part. No. There's no Friendship in the sideboard. Friendship is always main deck. You do not throw something as great as Friendship in the sideboard. I have used Urian as a companion several times. It's a delight. That card is just totally busted. Next turn, we know we're going to play the Mentor. We don't have any other 3-drops to play. And we can give this lifelink then, so we might as well give it Death Touch now. Can't attack or block into the Pro even, but we can Mutual Destruction it later. Mutual Destruction's odd. We'll just steal a different creature. I agree in general, but given we're going to sack some of our creatures to destructions, no recursion, no Whisper Squad, like, this deck's supposed to have 2 Coil Bugs. We just never saw them. I think the deck is fine, but with 2 Coil Bugs, I would be all about that Weaponize. But without it, we've got 5 destructions and a Poacher to sack the creatures we steal to. I don't think it's worth it. Okay, I think this time we got to go lifelink, so we can pump both of them if we activate Mentor here. That's pretty sick. For some reason, this Mentor is only 2 to activate, so we can build the squad. Then next turn, we can steal this, sack to kill that, depending on what else they do. We can also slap Triggering Harvester on one of our big lifelink creatures, kill something that way, hit for a lot. Let's just see what they're going to do this turn. They're Pro even. 5 mana do nothing. My favorite card. Well, in that case, do we even want to kill something right now? I think I can just pump and hit. I mean, they're not racing. I'm hitting for 8. Both my creatures have lifelink. Okay, so they wisely held back. So this time we'll probably kill their stuff. They can bring something back as a 1/1 next turn, but I think that's okay. That has Death Touch. I guess I might want to just cast Chittering Harvester, and then I can do that next turn. Because I don't really want to put this on anything. I think I'm better off just putting it in play. Just another body. Because if I can lethal them in one attack, that'll be better than anything else. And I'm almost at lethal, because I can always Mutual Destruction, sacking the Mentor, and use Tentative Connection to steal one of their 2 creatures. So this turn I had 11. Mutual Destruction, the Boot Nipper. Well, I can't Connection the Venturer, so I had 10. Connection on the Boot Nipper, Mutual Destruction, the Venturer. So this turn I could have dealt them 10, and they're at 13. So now this turn I'm threatening lethal. I mean, they'll probably play something else, but, I mean, we're in a great position regardless. And I think this should be lethal now for us. I didn't count lethal last turn. I could be wrong. Now we have lethal, I think. I did coverage with Elias last weekend, and she called it Booty Nipper, so I've been calling it Booty Nipper ever since. I apologize. I just can't help myself. I love a good nickname. So Clash is good against Death Touch, and we did see that out of them, and it might be good in this matchup, and it's also easier to cast on the draw. So while I think Clash is kind of situational and way overrated, I don't want to make the mistake of going too extreme. It is a playable card, just not a good card, and I think this is a matchup where it might end up good. So I think I want to bring in Clash, maybe for like Rock Slide. Volley does seem okay, too. I mean, we only saw 1 Nipper out of them, though. But Nipper with Death Touch. There's also the 4/4, the protection creature. Like, I think this is a matchup where Clash will likely kill 2 things. Not always. It's still going to be situational. But likely. Well, I've been playing Magic regularly since the 6th grade, so of course I was not always this good at Magic. When like year 1, year 2, I was awful, I'm sure. I mean, you always get better at things, but I mean, I did win a PTQ when I was in like 9th grade or so, when I was like 15. So, I mean, I did get good pretty fast, but I played Infinite when I was a kid. Like, I played so much Magic back then, it was crazy. I mean, I guess I still do. Pretty much, I couldn't even estimate how many hours of Magic I've played in my life. All right, so we got a double block. Never let them draw cards with the Otter. Steal something later. Sack it. Draw cards. Life is good. Oh yeah, I mean certainly I'm better now, and everybody has better information. Like my edge is probably smaller now, and I'm probably better at the same time because everybody else is better too. Enjoy your pasta, Zach. See you later. Okay, they called even again, so we can't steal that. But we can steal the Nipper and then sack it to kill the Venturer. 2 damage either way. I guess I'm happy to attack first. Oh, no, they could just block. Oops. Oh, well, I missed 2 damage. I apologize. I was going to attack first with that, because I was like, why give them the option to Divine Arrow my Poacher? But if I attack, they'll just block, because it's pro-even. Yeah, she's tried to teach me how to say it. I can't pronounce anything. I'm not doing it on purpose. You know the deal with pronunciation. Ben S is always wrong. It looks like a good enough one to steal while shields are down and the Poacher is active. Nothing wrong with kill your creature, cantrip, draw a card. It might not be as exciting as kill 2 creatures, but that's still a pretty good interaction. If I attack with both creatures, they can block the 2 on Death Touch, and then they take 2, but I don't have it out to sack it to mutual destruction. If they couldn't block it, or they would just lose both, and I wouldn't even have to use mutual destruction, then my play would have been correct. But I forgot that their creature was pro-even, so if I attack with the 2-1, they can just block, and then I can't sack it to mutual destruction to kill the other one. I didn't play the land last turn on purpose, because we didn't know if I would draw another land, and I need something to discard to Cloud Piercer. At this point, Cloud Piercer, looting away land, is just draw a card, because I have more lands than I need to cast everything in my deck. So, I do want to mutate it here. Obviously, on little creatures, Death Touch is really valuable, because it lets them trade up. On big creatures, you want Lifelink. Not really anything too much to share, Urban Lego. Yes, it's my primary source of income. I like it, but I like Magic a lot more. I think if you're a professional level Magic player, it's easy to make a living playing poker, but, I mean, you know, skill in gaming, you know, may vary. These other creatures will be 1/1s. This one may be protection from Odd, but I guess it's just going to blanket. I'm debating whether to mutual destruction the 1/1 Death Touch token now or not. I mean, it's a 10-point life swing. I don't think I really need to save this for anything better at this point. Because 1/1s without Death Touch do way less than 1/1s with Death Touch, of course. The enchantment's alright. It's a little slow. I personally don't think it's a very good card, but I would play it in a Mardu deck. I just wouldn't really go out of my way to draft it or anything like that. Think we put the Whisper on the Piercer, maybe? I mean, we could just cast it, of course. But Rummaging Away a Mountain is almost draw a card. But I guess a 4/4 Menace is pretty good right now, so maybe we just cast it. Because, I mean, if they bring back even the protection thing, the 1/1, and they call Odd, they still have to double block Whisper to block it, and then I'm killing the other token every time. So if this was a 4/4 not Menace, I would have put it on the Piercer, gotten the last card out of their hand, and rummaged away the Mountain. But since it's a 4/4 Menace, I think you just want to play it. Well, I also would have made them discard. I might have gotten Archipelagor. They had exactly 1 card in hand, remember? It wasn't just to draw a card. It was to make them discard a card also. The reason I think it wasn't right, though, was because of Menace. Because, like, this can't stop a Menace creature, even if it's on Pro Odd. Like, we're actually in a winning position at the moment. Like, we might win, we might lose, but if they brick and we brick, we win. They can bring back Otter, put me to 5, attack, but they have to chump it with both creatures. Then I can chump Archipelagor, and then I kill them. Obviously, they can leave Archipelago. Why did they refuse to bring Otter back? Oh, it's not Mardu. It's only red, black, and white creatures. You're right. My fault. You're right. My fault. But yeah, the reason I was thinking about Cavern Whisper on the 5/4 Pacified was because they had exactly 1 card in hand. So I get to draw a card. Sure, what am I going to draw that's better than a 4/4? Not much, right? But it's 2 cards. I get to take their last card. So if their last card is like a removal, the removal trades with the 4/4 if I play it. So I get to draw a card for free, basically. Because it would have made them discard one, and I would have gotten to draw a card. Quinoa, Ruffia. So we can't keep this without a mountain, sadly. If it had a mountain, I would keep it, of course. Alright, that's a little better. I don't know if we have double black, double red, or neither. I can't really think of much. Oh, the Mythos is double red, so I'll bottom the second swamp. No, it's not really a draw first deck. Mutual Destruction isn't dead weight. Like, you want to get out in front, attack, use these aggressively for damage sometimes. I think I'm going to go Lifelink. We don't have Ram-Throughs. We have things that kill big creatures. I don't think we need this to have Death Touch. Just get some life early while I can. I think the chat talks me into the correct play way more often than the chat talks me into an incorrect play. I play worse on stream because I'm splitting my focus between interacting with the chat and the game of Magic. Like, when I play off stream, nothing is going on except the game of Magic in my head, and I picture everything, and I think through everything, like, in my head constantly. So I play worse on stream. But I think the interaction with the chat helps me, not hurts me. If we drew a land, I could have stolen sack, but I'm still just going to offer this trade because I want to keep the board clear for this Boot Nipper to be hitting and gaining 2 life, and so they're going to play another creature. It's limited, and then I can still steal and sack. In the meantime, it's a stalemate. I forget about it and move on because I lose lots of games of Magic, including that one, Brillucky. You should never plan for, expect to, or care if you lose a game of Magic, I guess. So this time, attacking for 4 is better than attacking for 2, lifelink even. So this time I will attack. And then we can Mutual Destruction. Listen, everybody, including me, would rather win than lose, but I've never understood this losing bothers me so much. The best players in the world lose about 1 in 3 games of Magic they play. I think this time I'm going to go Death Touch. It's later in the game. Even though we might be hitting with it next turn, I do need to keep the board clear for the 2/1 Lifelinker to be able to attack. So I like Death Touch with the second one now. This way, after I kill both their next 2 creatures with Connection Destruction, when they play 1 creature, I can attack with the Death Toucher and force the trade to clear the way for the Lifelinker. Now, they had removal. If I knew they were going to have removal, I would have chosen Lifelink on the second one as well. Oh, they made the right play. If I was only going to have 1, I'd rather it have Lifelink. The reason I gave the second one Death Touch was because that one can help clear the way for the Lifelink one. Alright, let's do our little build 2 removal spell trick again. We even get in 6 damage. Five lands, 5 toughness. Umaro meet the Rock Slide. I think I'm going to be a little greedy for now. Just going to pass. If they play like a 2 toughness creature, I can 2-for-1 them with the Mythos. If they play something giant, I can Mutual Destruction, sacking the human token. See what else they have. If they don't do anything soon, I'm probably going to kill that. I think I can take 1 more hit, but that's it. I'm not going to risk going to 2 and dying to, like, you know, any trick or whatever. But, you know, they might draw a 2/2. Limited decks tend to have plenty of small creatures. But now I got to use Mythos, I think. Sadly, it's just 4 mana, kill their 4-drop. This format's fun. I think Companion's a little too good and Cycling's a little too good. Not the mechanic. I love the mechanic Cycling, but the Cycling deck in this format is a little too good. Okay, that's a great draw. We're not scared of removal and response, of course, because we still get our 5-4 anyway. And if they don't have it, we get a 5-4 haste, and we rummage away this Swamp, which is a dead card in our hand. Sure thing. I'm going to go Lifelink again. We're at 6, but we can kill their next creature by sacking the 1/1 to destruction. My chat is great. I mean, most of the time I argue with the chat about a play, the chat's right and I'm wrong. I mean, obviously it's 1,000 heads to 1 or whatever, but, I mean, I don't understand, like, the hate on chat. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, obviously the chat's going to be right way more than any streamer, so it doesn't really make sense when people bash their chat. We are Navalus. You are not. But we, all of you, are. Don't get sassy with me. So, they did this in combat before attackers. That's so weird. They should just let me attack and then put it in front of the Wolverine. Now, we're in combat, so I can't Mutual Destruction. But I don't want to trade the Wolverine for the Great Shark. So, I'll just not attack this turn. Destruction the Great Shark with the 1/1. And then if they don't have anything, I can win the game with the Wolverine next turn. That was a weird play. I mean, yeah, maybe they're baiting, but, I mean, I guess. If I didn't have Mutual Destructions in hand, I would have attacked. I need creatures. Any creatures. There are no more lands in my deck. Okay then, Flood. Nice to meet you. So, big creatures aren't the best against them because of the Shark. Again, I think we kind of want Ram Through against them. I mean, Crash of Titans against them. I'm just going to board it in every round instead of maining it. But it is bad against Cycling and, like, it's bad against, like, humans and some other matchups. It's good against Death Touch creatures and big green creatures. So, Dark Bargain looks good against them. They're not a good aggro deck. Clash looks good against them. Big expensive creatures aren't great, but Harvester, Whisper, and Cloud Piercer aren't coming out. Lava Serpent Cycles. So we don't really have anything that's a liability against Shark. I mean, I can take out Serpent. Doesn't match up well against green creatures or Shark. I mean, with the 2 connections, this Commando... I mean, the Mutual Destructions were pretty good. We drew like 4 of them and we were still able to use them. I mean, I guess they're not pacifying any of our creatures. We can go down 1, maybe. I wish I had a companion. I'm flying solo. It's not like 5 Mutual Destruction. It's not a card that gets better in multiples. But if you have like token making and tentative connections to steal their creatures and sack them. Nah, Pyroceratops is going to be smaller than their creatures. I don't think Pyroceratops offers us much. Head creatures? Yeah, I wish. This deck, like I said, is still good, but it ended up a couple Coil Bugs short. I'm not going to play Commando. Naturalist can block it anyway, and I really want the 1/1 token since I have Mutual Destructions, and I can't Harvester onto it because it's a human, so putting it out does very little. This deck was a couple coil bugs away from being great. But for now, can't really do anything. Okay, we kind of want both the land and the creatures here. I can play Boot Nipper with Death Touch, play the Mentor. I don't think I need another swamp that bad. I'll draw one sooner or later. I think I'm going to take the 2 threats. Now I wish I took the land, of course. So, this is a sticky spot. We saw Ram through. I want to pass and play Deadeye, but I don't want to discard a card. I mean, I could play Deadeye now and just let them kill it. They can't shark me or anything. I guess I'll do that. I can catch back up. If I just draw a land, I have Connection Mutual Destruction. Plus, I have, like, lots of stuff to do now, so... I didn't want to use 2 mana instead of 4 when my whole hand are spells and I'm on 4 lands. So we know they have something. We don't know what. Shore Shark is the only flash mutate. That doesn't scare me. They could have a pump spell. It doesn't really scare me. But at the same time, if I get to attack, then I can go Commando Mutual Destruction. So I think I'm just going to take it. That's a good draw. Oh, wait, but I can't use both Mutual Destructions, or I won't have one for the connection. I was going to just Friendship Double Destruction the moles, but then I have nothing. I need to have one. I can use one. So I guess I have to attack with Commando. I'm getting lower than I would like, but I mean, I'm killing one of the moles, and I have Commando to block with. So, I mean, I'm not getting that low. It's gonna be tight. This was an awkward draw. Oh, yeah, I forgot I can flash it in. Not that it's necessarily better, but yeah, Deadeye has flash, so I can play Destruction with flash while it's out. Good call, chat. I forgot. I just completely forgot. And that's my punishment. Could have killed a 5/5 instead of a 3/3. Got what I deserved. Never punished, sometimes punished. Should have took that land, too. I got super punished by drawing connection immediately. But I didn't have it. If I had it, I would have just took the land. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Probably lifelink. No, because it can't block anything. I can, like, Friendship. And then I can, like, Flash Mutual Destruction the mole. I mean, we know they have something. We don't know what. Yeah, Duskfang Mentor for lifelink isn't the worst. Yeah, Mentor gain 4 isn't the worst. It's not the best. Like, can I really afford to attack? Wait, these are all humans. Why did you make me do that, chat? I blame you for this one. Okay, so we have to Mutual Destruction now because they're turning off Flash, which is fine. We want to anyway. The question is, what do we sack and what do we kill? Like, if we kill the Serpent, then the Ram Through doesn't happen, so we don't have to sack the Deadeye, but we might want to. Thank you, Ziggy Meister. Appreciate that subscription. We're not dead on board. We can put a 3 toughness creature in front of Mole. Like, we're probably going to die, but... Like, we're probably going to lose, but if they don't have anything, we're not dead on board. If they attack with both, Deadeye eats Naturalist, Mentor chumps Mole, it's fine. If they attack with just Mole, we can double block it, and then we just trade Deadeye for it. Like I said, they obviously have something, because they've represented something, and we're probably dead. But if they didn't have Fully Grown here, we weren't dead on board. I think I sacked the right one there. Because we have this life-linking Booty Nipper that we could play next turn. Kind of a little bit of an unfortunate Flood Screw, though. It was somewhat self-induced. Maybe I should have took the land, I'm not sure. But we weren't under a ton of pressure, and I didn't have Tentative Connection yet. So, I mean, if we drew one more land, then Tentative Connection Mutual Destruction is turned on. We needed 5. I'm not that greedy. If my hand had Tentative Connection in it, I would have took the land. I figured, like, whatever, I don't even have Connection yet. Like, there's 2 in the deck, but I'll draw a land before I'll draw Tentative Connection, and in the meantime, I have plenty to do. Alright, I'm going to keep this on the draw. It's far from perfect, but we've got the turn 4 removal. If we draw one of our 8 swamps, we've got our 2-drop, and we've got our combo. So, you know, Greedy Benes, how we do. Yeah, I mean, maybe I was too greedy. Maybe I should have took the land. I don't really know. Alright, lifelink early. Oh, that's gross. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to kill Loros. They can get us with it 1 extra time, but they've got Loris and Weaponize here. This is match 3 of draft 2, yep. I'm going to do 3 of these best of 3 drafts today, and then I'm going to hang out for ads and chats after. For anybody who's never seen that, basically if you want to ask me any questions, Magic or other, I show ads every 8 minutes. I don't play any more Magic or do any more drafts, but I just stay on, answer questions, and show ads. But that's not after this draft. That's after the 3rd draft. We're going to do a whole nother draft after this. I wouldn't necessarily say I want easier, Elder Joe. My choice would be to play whichever's harder, actually, to be honest. So if I steal Loros, I could play something from my yard, but that would only work if I had more like 7 mana. I think for now, we don't really have any choices. Steal Loros, and then I can attack. If they block with the Nipper, cool. I just don't have to play the Mutual Destruction. If they don't, then I will be sacking Loros to Mutual Destruction, of course. I think I would rather kill the 2-1 lifelink than the Fox. They're not a cycling deck. Oh, wait, but they have this, so they can move lifelink right over. So, it's still a close call, because, I mean, this is a 1-1 and that's a 2-1. So, I mean, whatever. See, Frostrick, those are the exact kind of questions that are good for ads and chats. Like, it's not only Magic related, but my focus whenever I'm streaming drafts is to focus on the Magic content, the drafts I'm currently playing. But during ads and chats, those kind of questions are cool. You could ask me anything. If it's too personal, I just won't answer. But to answer that question right now, I don't know anything for sure. I'm not psychic. But if I had to bet, I would take Carol Baskin killed her husband at over 1-1. But in almost all these belief scenarios, I don't actually... This is going to sound weird, but I don't really believe in the concept of belief. Like, I just, like, things have a likelihood of happening based on all the data, and that doesn't move it to 100 or 0%, whichever's more likely. So I don't really view it that way. This is so little damage for now. I'm just going to chill in case they play a 3-3. I'm probably going to fire Prophecy the Fox, but they're not playing a cycling deck. I can take a few more hits. I might draw, like, the red Mythos. Still Psychic. Still got it. And then I can kill both little creatures with 1 card. You're already subscribed to it, Zach Sherman. This is my newsletter. My Twitch stream. Definitely lifelink. We want life very badly. Be nice if we connect at least once with that. Boo. Yep. This is a strange one. What can they give it? I don't even know what's on this thing. Death Touch and Lifelink? Okay, that doesn't affect killing it now. So let's take our draw step. See what we get. So if I take it and attack, I can commando and make a 1/1. And then I can sack it to kill the 1/1. This isn't excellent, but it's kind of the same as putting out commando and using destruction, which I have 3 of. But it lets me use connection as a removal spell here, which I think I want to do. If they sack it in response... Oh, I don't have enough mana, though. Can you sack it to kill itself? Alright, I'll just do that then. Oh no, but I'm a mana short, so let me take it for 1 turn. I can't get low with this weaponize out. It's kind of a problem. But I'm 1 mana short of getting the 1/1 and everything. So now if I draw land, I do that. If I draw like a big creature, I can do that. If I draw 4th destruction, I'm not a happy camper. Well, I guess I can make that same play with any creature. So I'll just prophecy it now. 1 for destruction, 4 for connection, 3 for commando. I have 7 mana. I'm 1 short. But I should have just prophesied it and hold commando, because then I can make that same line with at any point. So, well, if they sack it when I connection it, that's fine too. I just don't really want to bluff that. I can just wait. You know, now I have land 8. I can go for it. They probably will sack it. They probably should, but that's kind of whatever. I do need the 1/1 bodies for destruction. So I think it's worth waiting on commando with them at 25. I'm not killing them anytime soon. The only big mistake here was taking that 1 hit. What I should have done was prophesied it 1 turn earlier. I should never have took that 1 hit. What's up, babe?
Do you know where the lease is? A copy of it?
No clue.
You see what I can get away with on the balcony.
I mean, that game was pretty awkward. I don't think it's like a bad matchup or anything. Let's see what we're going to do here. We don't really want to kill that artifact. It's not a very good card. Looks like it could be a grindy matchup. I think Dark Bargain might be good. Definitely don't want Clash. Their creatures are small. I'm just going to bring in Bargain, bring out 1 destruction. Because, again, they have recursion and not a lot of creatures. There's nothing wrong with 5 mutual destructions. They're underperforming here because I didn't get Whisper Squads and I didn't get Coil Bugs. Definitely going to draw first. It's a play first deck against a slow green deck where I want to get in damage and use connection aggressively. But they're a Loros deck, which means all their cards are cheap. So there's no reason to be on the play in this matchup. I think I got it out. Looks like it's exactly 40. I just don't have stuff to sack to weaponize. That was my plan when I drafted this deck. I was expecting to pick up some Coil Bugs or Whisper Squads. I'm not even kidding. I don't think I saw a Coil Bug in all 3 packs of this draft, and I don't remember seeing Whisper Squads at any point reasonable to take them. That's why it's fine to have Mutual Destructions, because if you have a single Coil Bug in the late game, you can just keep recycling them and sacking the same Coil Bug over and over and over again to these Mutual Destructions. Obviously, it didn't go that way, but it's a common. It's not even a highly sought after one. Nobody's splashing a Coil Bug ever, so I figured I would get Coil Bugs. There were just literally none. Matching haircuts. Oh, she's planting like a garden on the balcony or something, or like some plants or something. I don't know. She's very like nature and innovative-y like that. Like she's all into plants and like gardening and stuff. I'm obviously the exact opposite. I'm just glued to my computer 24/7. Alright, I don't want to trade with the cat, but I do want to trigger Commando. That is important for my deck. So I'm just going to attack with the Mentor, play Commando, and pass. If I draw a Swamp, I can play this in Lifelink and start growing it immediately. For this turn, I can use 3 mana instead of 2, because I only have 1 Swamp, so I couldn't play Nipper and use Mentor. I said nature-y and innovative, I think. If I said innovative-y, obviously that's not a word, but whatever. So they call Death Touch. No, they're not. She's just growing things to like cook with and stuff like that. I guess I gotta just go slow. I'm not gonna play Mythos to kill those. I don't have a good attack right now, but I'm not like under any pressure. Just let them dump some stuff out, I guess. So if I take the cat and I sack that, that looks pretty good. Then I get the 1/1. So I think I'm down for that. I don't care about spewing the destruction. This already kills anything, and this can wrath them. So get over here, kitty. We'll use your own synergies against you. That's what we do on this channel. And now we can wipe the board with Mythos, and we should be on to game 3 unless they have something surprising. Life is good. Take it easy, Yam Big Men. Sometimes I get to have creatures, too. It's not just my opponents. And Loros is super dead. I don't hate weaponize against them. Again, I'm just worried for the same reason my Mutual Destructions are good but dicey, that weaponize is good but dicey, because I didn't get those Coil Bugs or Whisper Squads that I needed. And I only got 1 Commando. I would have drafted more Commandos pretty aggressively, too. Like, I just saw so little of that this whole draft. I really want more bodies, if anything. Ceratops might be good against them. They're a deadweight deck, and they're a deck full of 1/1 tokens. And they have Mutual, which does 2. And we saw 2 deadweights. I think this is a Ceratops matchup. Ceratops is bad against bigger green creatures, but it's really good against all their little 1/1 tokens and deadweights and stuff like that, because it has Trample and 3 toughness. Volley's okay. I could definitely bring in Volley if I'm going to take out other stuff. Is Weaponize better than Destruction? Maybe. It's 6 mana instead of 5 with Connection, but it is also a finisher. Let's see, what else do we have that's bad? This stuff is good. Wolverine is good. We do want to keep our spell count up for Wolverine also. That is a thing. The big creatures are good. There's not a lot to board out. Deadeye is pretty bad. We can take out Deadeye. That card's horrible against them. Ha, Enoma, you're 100% right. I hadn't even looked at the chat yet. Yeah. Their stuff's all small. They have dead weights. They have 1/1s and 2/1s and stuff. Deadeye is bad against them. Deadeye is good against green decks. And it's actually decent against like Cycling and Flash and stuff, because blue decks, because you play at end of their turn. But it's bad in this matchup. You're 100% right. Scorpion's okay. I don't know. This looks right to me. Maybe I can take out like one destruction, but for like a volley. But like, I mean, a lot of their creatures have 2 toughness also. They played what? Cat, Scorpion, Boot Nipper, Luros. Yeah, I agree Weaponize is decent in this matchup. I just feel like, you know, what I'm trying to do is trade things off and have a big threat keep attacking. I mean, neither Destruction nor Weaponize really plays well into that. I guess I can sack something to kill Luros, but not if they've already killed it. In most matchups, I would just keep this hand and hope I drew spells. But I think this matchup's pretty attrition-y. I think this hand is especially bad against them, and I'm on the draw. Like, in the dark, I would keep this, but I think against them, I should mulligan. And I'm rewarded for my aggressive mulligan immediately, of course. Oh, 5 it is. Alright, this is fine. I need to be able to kill Luros. I pretty much have to just keep these 3 and hope I draw lands, I think. I mean, we're on the draw. Obviously, this card costs 5, this costs 4, but I can't really put those back. There's plenty of lands in the deck. Hopefully, we'll draw them. Yeah, we do want more creatures with the spells not being great against them. That much is true. I think, actually, I'm going to cycle here. We know they're on double dead weight. I don't want to just put this out and have it killed when I have Weaponize. I want to play Weaponize and then try and play this with 2 open if I can. So let's see what else they're going to do here. Well, there goes that dream. Now I'm 2 lands away from playing the Boot Nipper with 2 open to sack, so I'll just play the Boot Nipper. Of course, lifelink. Definitely not MTG Master. If you remember the Super Flood from Game 1, it's Game 3, so now it's time for the screw. Just what I wanted to draw. Alright, that was kind of ugly. What can you do? 3rd draft of the day. Oh, do I not have gems? Oh, I have gold. We can spend that for now. Which WC? Oh, the World Championship Finals. Yeah, I would have molded that hand, but again, I mean, I mold that 5-land 2-spell hand and then lost because I molded the 5 and didn't draw lands. I mean, you can second guess decisions forever, but it's wrong to say the person lost because they made a bad keep. Because even if they should have mulliganed, what that really means is when they kept, they had a 39% chance to win, and if they mulliganed, they would have had a 41% chance to win. I'm making up the exact numbers. Magic isn't a game where if you do it right, you win, and if you do it wrong, you lose. Magic is a game where you're fighting for small percentages at all times with hard decisions. So, like, while yes, I would have mulliganed the hand Marcio kept, if me and most of the community is right, he cost himself a 0.5%. He didn't turn a win into a loss. That's a bad way to look at it. He just made a decision that was suboptimal by X%. I usually go infinite with best of 3, but I usually bleed gems in best of 1. And I played best of 1 for the past week, if you remember. So that's probably why I'm low on gems now. And I haven't bought gems for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. But I usually slowly bleed gems in best of 1 and break right about even, maybe slowly accumulate them in best of 3. So yeah, we're going to take Quartzwood Crasher. This card is excellent. Even though the casting cost looks difficult, it's really just a red card. It's so easy to light splash in this format that, like, you can play red anything and toss this card in very easily. And this card is just an excellent win condition. I even like it in cycling. I like Quartzwood Crasher as flood protection for the cycling deck. Okay, Lutri second pick, and it's a red card also. I'm ecstatic about that. Let me talk about companions. I'm going to spend, you've seen all these commons. I'm going to spend this 50 seconds to talk about companions. So, Lutri, if you copy removal, that's great. A lot of times, you're going to play it just as a 3-mana 3-2, no ability. But that's great. Because while a 3-mana 3-2 no ability is unplayable, if you get an extra 3-mana 3-2 added to your hand, and you also get to draw 7 cards as normal, that's an amazing card. It's a free card. It's a whole extra card with almost no drawback. You just can't play doubles. So, like, don't look at Lutri and see 3-mana 3-2. Look at Lutri and see 8th card, my opponent's on a mulligan. I got 8 cards and they got 7. Look at it that way. It's Rogue Refiner. Yes, that's a good comparison. Okay, so we're not going to take Tentative Connection, of course. Right now, we just have red cards, basically. What can we take out of this pack? Dancer and Deadweight, which are pretty close. Fight as One, which is a nice red-white card, which we could certainly still go. Tactician's also a nice red-white cycling card, which we could definitely still go. Red-green would be ideal, of course, for Crasher. Even though it's easy to splash, we'd prefer to play red-green. But we're not going to take Mosscoat Goriak. No matter how much Deathsea loves that card, I'm not going to third pick it here. So it's basically Tactician or Fight as One, and I think Tactician's better. Or it's Deadweight or Dancer. The cycling deck isn't the best Lutri deck. Like, obviously it's fine, but it's hard because you have to play doubles of cards, because you have to draft the same cards when you see them, and you have to play like 26 playables instead of 23 or 24. So I actually kind of don't prefer to go towards cycling when I get Lutri, because I can't take a second Draenith Stinger, I can't take a second Snare Tactician, I can't take a second Frostveil Ambush. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on in this draft, but Sea Dasher Octopus is really good. So I'm going to take that. It's not like an S-tier Broken Rare, but it is an A-tier. Like, it is a first pickable card. So it shouldn't be here this late. We can totally go blue-red spells. We can drop the Deadweight. Blue-red spells is an excellent Lutri deck, and we can easily splash Crasher. And that looks like the direction we're going to move. I'm going to take Otter here. We just got the Octopus 4th. I mean, we can also just play blue-black and drop the Quartzwood if we have to. We haven't seen red or green. It's clear we're seeing blue. So for right now, I'm going to take Otter. It's a clear choice. And then we'll see what's in the next pack. I don't think that 4-mana enchantment is amazing. I would play it in blue-red, light splash, white. But if I'm blue-red, I already have a good card I'd rather splash in green. So I think it makes way more sense to take the Otter there. Lutri demands one-ofs. You can't play a second copy of any card. All right, even though now there's another Tactician, again, we're not that well positioned for cycling, and we are for blue-red, so I think this is a pretty easy rock slide. I think we should almost certainly play blue-red. Who cares about this dead weight? Quartzwood is easy to splash. We'll just look for blue-green or red-green duels or Evolving Wilds or Farfinder. Rock Slide's good with Lutri. I mean, it's 7 mana. That's not cheap. Cheap removal is the best with Lutri. If you have a flyer, right, you can copy Gust of Wind for only 2 mana. You can copy Blitz here. Blitz is only 2 mana. Even though we only have 1 spell so far, Blue-Red does prioritize spells. We expect to get plenty. We'll be looking to draft Of One Mind. Even since we can only play one-ofs, and we already have, and now we have Blitz, I'll happily toss 1 Frostveil Ambush in this deck. I'll happily toss 1, the Startle Development, or whatever it's called, the 2 mana that makes something into a 4/4. Copying Reunion is disgusting. You don't have to discard again, so it's 5 mana, draw 6, get a 3/2. It's literally disgusting. So yeah, of course we want our 1 Reunion. And there it is. And there's nothing even competing with it. Will Bonder's an okay playable, but it's nothing exciting. We're looking to draft blue-red spells so we can lock up our Reunion. Memory Leak would be filler. I mean, it's 1 mana, put a card in the yard towards Blitz, also towards Wolverine if we get one, which we'll be looking for. But you can't even cast it. So, I mean, Wolverine would be Leak would be total filler. Whereas, like, Frostveil Ambush and Startling Development, those are cards we might cast. We're probably going to cycle them like 3/4 of the time we draw them. But we also could just tap their 2 creatures, hit with Otter and Dasher, and draw cards, or they block with a 2/2 or 3/3, and we turn one of these into a 4/4, right? Those are very castable cards. I'm going to take the Rugged Highlands here. Frostlinks is fine in this deck. I would play it, but it's just a moderate playable. It's nothing exciting. We have a Broken Rare we want to splash. Now we get a red-green duel. Life is good. If we're split between humans and non-humans, and we're going to splash green anyway, we could play a Survivor's Bond. We don't really have humans yet, though. What are the human red and blue creatures for this deck? Are they humans? I mean, we might play the 1/of creature, the 1/2 looter. I think I'm just gonna take Raptor. We have time to get Survivor's Bond, but I don't know if there's that many humans for blue-red spells. Like, I wouldn't hate to splash it if we do end up with a mix. Is this non-lands? Yes, it's non-lands, so we can even play 2 Rugged Highlands. That's awesome. Yeah, the Mentors, if we can get them. If we do get good humans like the Mentors, and Dranastinger will be medium. I'd probably end up playing it, but it's not a great card for this deck. But yeah, if we do get like the Blue Mentor, which is fantastic or something, then I would strongly consider splashing Survivor's Bond too. Well, there's the Blue Mentor. There's also Yorion, but there's also Dorat. Well, this is a pack and a half. Well, I would snap take Yorion over Dorat, Sprite Dragon, pick 1, pack 1. But we already have a good companion, so there's no reason to take Yorion, whose companion requirement is going to be harder for us to meet, when there's a great Mythic Uncommon for our deck, and we already have the companion slot filled. So this is an easy Sprite Dragon. It could Lola Man, but it's not worth it, I think, to take a Mentor and risk that. We're looking to draft blue-red spells here. We already have card drawing, so we should play a lot of spells per game. We already have Reunion, Blitz, Rock Slide. Flame Spill is a nice uncommon that we probably won't see a second copy of. That's a good spell for blue-red spells. Nice card to copy, deal a lot of damage. Also just a good removal, and it's aggressive and all that. That's an easy pick. It's not like you can have multiple companions. If you were allowed to put both in the companion slot, I would have considered taking it. Because we could play 60 and not play 2 of the same card, potentially. But, I mean, there's no reason to bump Lutri to... Like, we could put Yorion in the main, it's fine, but then Sprite Dragon's better. Like, Yorion in this deck's main is basically a 5-mana 4/5 flyer, some minor upside. That's a fine card. Like, I would definitely play it, but Sprite Dragon is better, if that's the case. Alright, Essence Scatter here. Definitely want to pick up spells where we can. Make sure we get exactly 1 of each. I want the Wolverine too, but I want the Scatter more. Similarly, we can't take Double Otter or Rock Slide, so it looks like Forbidden Friendship it is. Forbidden Friendship's fine in the stack. It's another nice thing to copy. It's a spell that goes to the yard and gives you creatures in play. It's nothing exciting, but definitely want to pick up my one of. I would like a Wilds too, but given I don't have a Friendship yet, I think it's important to get that. Remember, we're only on 12 playables, and really 11. Lutree's in the companion slot, and these are lands. So we're currently on 11 playables. So I guess now it's Dolphin or Tiger. Let's take a look at our curve. Tiger looks good. This can get Trample, so this synergizes with Quartzwood Crasher nicely. Alright, now there's a bunch of stuff we don't have yet. We did just get one human to lessen the cost of One Mind, and card drawing and spells is what this deck does. I'm going to lock that up. Uncolor Duel is good. I would like to pick it up, but I'm not going to take it over One Mind. These are common too. There's the same chance we'll see a blue-red duel as an One Mind later. I want the One Mind more. Like I just got done talking about, you know, we really have 13 playables here, not 16. Lutree's in the companion slot, and 2 Rugged Highlands are lands. Speaking of good spells that we wanted to lock up, there's our 1 Gust of Wind. Oh, they're in the land slot, so you're less likely to get them. I apologize. What I just said may have been wrong. Is that true? You can't get 2 lands in a pack? That's silly. Yeah, this deck's looking really good so far. But we gotta keep seeing cards. When you can't take doubles, you end up having to play a little bit of filler, which is okay. But that's why I don't want to take lands aggressively. I mean, of course I wanted to splash Crasher, but we're already pretty good with 2 Rugged Highlands. I'm really hoping to pick up 1 Farfinder. And of course, if there's a pack with a Green Duel or an Evolving Wilds and nothing for me, I'm going to snap take it. But given we can't play doubles, I really need to make sure that we get enough decent spells for our deck. We don't have a Capture Sphere yet, so we can lock up one of those. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing Lutree in your main, but it's a lot better as a free card out of your sideboard. Once you put it in your main, it's a good card, nothing special. I would say in terms of win percent, in terms of, like, power level, Lutree out of your companion slot is a mythic in terms of power level. Lutree in your main is an uncommon in terms of power level. Like, it's still a fine card, but it's, like, not anything special. A lot of times it's flash 3-2, and sometimes you'll get to copy something. Pick up our 1 Mentor. That's a nice second human, because most of our deck is not humans, but we do have some flyers. Maybe Blazing Volley is playable if you have Lutree. You have the companion every game, so if we can deal 2 to all their creatures, that could be awesome at some points. I think Facet Reader's fine, like we could play one of it. But given we have Lutree, I think that makes Blazing Volley main deckable. Grab a 1 of Convolute. Fine spell we need to play. It's not great, but when we're playing all 1 of something like Convolute, that's usually one of your last cuts, is something you're going to play. Oh, I didn't realize I had a Volley in the sideboard. My apologies, y'all. I should have took whatever the other card in the pack was that was considerable there. The Facet Reader. My mistake. This pack went well, though. Now we have 18 playables, so we don't have to get much out of pack 3. I do want a Cloud Piercer for this deck, but now that we're up to 18 playables, I might consider Evolving Wilds. Yeah, now that we have this many playables, I'm not worried about it. I was worried about it before, but now we'll make our playables. As far as humans, maybe I should have took that Bond. I mean, again, green is going to be a light splash for us. We don't have a Farfinder yet, but we do have some decent humans now, right? We can get back the Mentor. Well, that's pretty much it, because you can't get back the 1/1 token, so no, we wouldn't start Bond yet. Boone, on the other hand. Hello. Hello there, Boone. That's an easy uncommon to pick up for blue-red spells. Boone is perfect in this deck. It gives you ammo to never run out, which is the #1 thing you're worried about when you draft this archetype. And of course, it's an uncommon, so we're not going to see a second copy of it that likely. Well, I lied, but that's okay. There's a better card than Boone anyway. One of the best rares in the set. Shark Typhoon. This card is totally broken in this deck. We'll cycle it sometimes. We'll cast it sometimes. We're a spells deck with a bunch of card drawing. This is just a perfect card for us to pick up. That's a Yahtzee. That's a Windmill Slam. Of course, we're punished the next pack. Now there's no cards I want, but just take the Go for Blood as a cycling spell that we may play. It's a fine one of. Yeah, the only thing we really didn't get was a Prophecy that I care about. Be nice to get a Prophecy here, but what are you going to do? So this is 23 right now. Well, Shore Shark, another nice card that we don't have one of yet. I'd happily grab a Swiftwater Cliffs, but it's not going to be overpouncing Shore Shark. Well, we found the open color. It was blue. Hey, this is why you draft the hard way, right? You remember pack 1 when we started with red and then we took a dead weight and then we saw blue late. We got a third pick or fourth pick. We got a third pick otter and a fourth pick octopus, so we knew blue was the open color. Well, we're getting rewarded. Look how wide open blue is. Unfortunately, we can't play a second boon, but I'm going to grab Farfinder. Farfinder's a good card for us with our Quartz Dragon Splash anyway. And we also have we have a Pouncing Shark, Shore Shark to put on it as far as mutate. And also the otter, potentially. The octopus, I mean. I would like a Heron, but not over the Farfinder when we have the Quartzwood Crasher. Yeah, we now have 5 sources with 1 forest, so our splash looks good. We're also a couple cards over. Wow, Voracious Great Shark. That's the shark trifecta right there. That's all 3 of the great sharks. We got Shark Typhoon, Pouncing Shore Shark, and Voracious Great Shark. Yeah, we found the open color. It was blue. We did it. And we actually don't have a Ceratops yet, and our green splash is way solidified. So that's another nice pickup. It's also a good trampler with the Quartzwood Crasher. This deck is getting sick. Alright, so Convolute is out. We have enough playables. Hampering Snare is out. Unfortunately, we can't play the other Gust. It's worth it. We have a million playables. None of these cards are going to make our deck off a green splash. But I guess we might sideboard and wilt. And the boons are tabling. We're just the only blue player at the whole table. I mean, whatever. So I guess the volley thing was okay with the Lutri, but we have plenty of other stuff to copy. Probably don't need the dolphin. Alright. That's 16 lands, which is probably right. Go for Blood might be out or in. That's close. Not much else is on the fence here. Our last card in right now, I think, is Go for Blood. So I'll take the blue-red duel, because Startling Development would just be a close playable anyway. So we might as well get the third boon. Wow, now I'm actually kind of mad. I could have had 3 boons in a blue-red spells deck. I don't know. I mean, that's a blue-green duel, too. Lutri has to be worth not playing these boons, right? You get it every game. You get Lutri every game for free in the companion slot. Yeah, we could have done the 60-card Yorian and just made him the Lutri, but, I mean, we didn't know we were going to get hit over the head by a million playables like this. This deck is very good. Alright, so clearly we need exactly 1 forest. We're looking to play 16. We have tons of dual lands. Our mana's going to be good. I think the last card in is Go for Blood. I'm not sure if we're going to cut it or play it. We'll see what else is in the board at the moment. So, 11. Let me move Lutri to the companion slot. 11, 12, 13, 15, 17. We're even on red and blue. Like I said, we have tons of duels. We're going to be more than fine. We have 2 red duels, 1 blue duel. So we want 1 more blue if anything. But if we go to 16, then we're getting rid of that. So we have 5, 8, 9 red, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue, and then like 5 or 6 green. So that's definitely correct. Yeah, and then Go for Blood is the weakest spell currently in. We could cut it if we want to for like the volley. I don't need the Forest, but with a Farfinder and an Evolving Wilds, I get 3 more green sources for just 1 Forest. So I'm going to play it. Yeah, I kind of like the Go for Blood cycles because I do want to run 16 lands. But then I have at least like Boon and Go for Blood to help me dig up lands, Farfinder. I don't think Wilt is better than Go for Blood. Like, we have some size. Like, we can fight a creature with our Shark squad, our Shark trifecta here, with Quartzwood Crasher, with Ceratops. Ceratops is pretty good with Go for Blood. I mean, I know Go for Blood's going to get cycled a lot, but I think it's fine. I would play all 3 boons if I could, but it's not worth giving Lutri up out of the companion slot to put in 2 boons. Quartzwood Crasher does synergize with itself, but it's still nice when you have other things that synergize with it too. Because if it has to attack, then they get a turn to kill it. But if you have a Trampler out like Tigerilla or Ceratops, you can play Crasher, attack, and make an extra dino immediately. And then if they kill it, you're still up an extra creature. Yeah, there's a lot of rares and uncommons. I mean, this deck's really good. There's no question. Alright, we don't have a ton of lands. It's not a huge concern, but we're certainly going to cycle Go for Blood here. Hoping to curve out, not hoping to have to reunion early. First thing you want to do is get out Sprite Dragon, so that every time we play spells, it starts growing. Think here I'm pretty happy to scatter first, because I don't really want to play, like, the spells that are, I don't really want to play random, like, 2-mana sorceries that I can play later before Ceratops, but scatter's kind of situational. And, like, Gust of Wind, I'll play it if they don't give me anything to gust, but I'd rather gust more expensive creatures than cheaper ones. So for now, I think we just leave our 2-up, scatter anything they play. Then next turn, if we draw a land, we can play Ceratops. If we don't draw a land, we can play Of One Mind to try and find land. I would rather have the Sprite Dragon. I'm not a big Sprite drinker. I'm like an iced tea drinker. I drink pretty much all iced tea all the time. Alright, but we have Gust of Wind, so that's minorly annoying, but not a huge deal, of course. Now I'm happy to gust it, whereas before I didn't feel the need to. No decisions now. The only thing is, do we want a red or a blue up? We want a blue up. On sweet. I drank sweet when I was a kid, but I was putting on weight. I'm an adult with a slow metabolism now, so I switched to on sweet. I switched like almost 10 years ago now. My grandma's Romanian. Well, my great-grandma, I guess. But one side of my ancestry. Tap lands do have diminishing returns. But if you're not playing them to gain 1 life, you're playing them to fix your mana. So you pretty much don't have an amount that's too many. Like, you're not going to cut something that helps you cast your spells. I live in Florida. In Broward County, Florida. Okay, so we do want to get Ceratops out. Unfortunately, we strand a mana, but I think that's worth it. We don't want to play any more spells before we grow our Ceratops. We're not really under much pressure here. I mean, if they don't add to the board, we can just cast this for 6 mana. Our whole hand is spells. Thank you, Syncopator. I appreciate that. I'm not really scared of them killing Ceratops. My whole hand is spells, mostly card drawing. So I'm going to block the 2/2. I know they're going to kill it. I know it's probably not a bluff. I know Ceratops is sweet. But when your hand is infinite ammo like this, all I want to do is not take damage and make them play their cards. Like, if I get to untap and play Typhoon on this board, the game's over. So now we can Shore Shark the Servant, or we can Capture Sphere it. We'd rather Shore Shark it. I don't want to risk them having something. There's nothing for 2 black, because they can't Heartless Act. They can just remove a counter. So I think I'm just going to Shore Shark now. Course over, because you still keep the other ability too. I'm not going to attack, because I don't want to trade 5 for 3. I'd much rather block. But I did it now, because I didn't want them to Blood Curdle in response or something like that. And then the 5/5 would still be attacking me. So that's why I made that ultra-conservative play. Because my hand is so strong. I don't want to race, and I don't want them to get to, like, stop me from bouncing that creature. No lands, so I think Of One Mind makes the most sense now. Then we can still have Scatter Up. I'll scatter literally anything at this point. All I want to do is spend my mana. My hand is loaded. I do want to kill that, so I think here I'm just going to pass the turn. As sweet as casting Typhoon is, we don't want to take another hit and risk dying somehow. I'd rather just cycle it. If they have the instant speed removal, they'll put me to 3, but, I mean, whatever. It's not like they have 3 points of burn in their hand. But there's no need to tap out to cast this to then make infinite stuff afterwards. My whole hand is spells, and I can even Lutri something, and this draws 4. So at this point, if they have nothing, I'm making a 4/4. I get to eat their 3/3 and draw another card. There's no need to be greedy in this matchup when your opponent has 2 cards in hand and your hand is this loaded. I'll just make an instant 4/4. If they kill it, I go to 3. If they don't kill it, then I eat their 3/3. Life is good either way, really. The reunion play would be okay, but we'd end up having to discard anyway. I just don't need to draw that many cards right now. I might do it later, but, like, at this point, it's not really helping me, you know? No, there's times you cast Typhoon. Like, yes, it's kind of win more in the sense that pretend it was only cycle to make a shark. Pretend you couldn't cast it. It would be roughly as good as it is. Like, it would still be great. But there's still times it's right to cast it. I think you cycle that card, like, 75% of the time, maybe 80, but, like, not anywhere near 100. Like, there are times where you're like, okay, I'm at 14, they have a 4/4 out, I'll just cast Typhoon, go to 10, and then I have a handful of spells and I win the game, right? There are definitely times you cast that card. Okay, let's see. I think I'll leave Shark up here and just keep making my land drops. I don't really want to take any more hits. So if they play something pre-combat, I'll Shark it. If they don't, which they probably won't, then I can capture Spear of the Deadeye. I'm not, like, worried about them resolving a creature because, of course, I have Rock Slide still. So this just helps me make more land drops to get into a position where I can do 2 things in a turn. Also, if I run them out of threats, then I win, which is what happened. So now we can play a 3-mana card and leave Great Shark up. I don't actually need to Lutri anything. I mean, it's cool, but I guess I also just don't need to cast anything right now. Just Great Shark the next creature they play. I held the land because of Reunion. Because one of my next plays might be Lutri copying Reunion. Is that all 3 sharks? Game 1, and we unloaded the Shark Squad? All 3 of those cards are first pickable. Pouncing Shore Shark is one of the best uncommons. Voracious Great Shark is a really good rare. Not like one of the top, but a really good rare. And Shark Typhoon is one of the best rares. Literally all 3 of those are just very good first pickable cards. Alright, let's draw a million now. Full Control. Sure. Discard 2. Copy Reunion. Draw 6. Don't mind if I do. Oh, I don't need full control for Lutri. Are you sure? I believe you, but I didn't know that. Might as well get this Mentor going now, I think. Finish the turn with exactly 7 cards after using all my mana, all 9, all 8. Discarding 2 lands, drawing 6 cards. Is that a perfect turn? I'm not going to deck. I have 10 cards left. Unless they mill me or something, but assuming they don't mill me, there's no chance I deck. If they somehow have like surprise cards that mill me or something, then it might be possible. I never understand why people say good game and don't concede. Like, if you say good game to your opponent, the next thing you should be doing is pushing concede. I'm not saying you have to concede. Play it out to the bitter end if you want. That's your prerogative. Just don't say good game and then not concede. Yeah, I'm not saying that they did anything wrong, like, in terms of not conceding. I just think in terms of etiquette, like, I only say good game to my opponent if I'm about to concede. I said good game back, mistress. Don't be cute. I mean, this was a good game. It was a dogfight. Like, they had tons of removal and creatures early. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong by not conceding. It's game 1 of a best of 3. I wouldn't necessarily concede either. I just wouldn't say good game unless I was conceding. I don't think I really care about showing them these random creatures. I said it back. Stop. Like, you know, in person, somebody says good game to you, you say good game back. So, like, I'm just being polite there. Stop your nonsense, chat. Alright, so they didn't have small creatures for volley. They do make those 5/5s, but I think we're okay against that. We have Rock Slide, Gust, Spear, Frostlinks. I mean, we certainly could lose to that, but we don't have any bounce on the board or anything to bring in. I guess I could bring in Wilt. We have a lot of green sources. Somehow we ended up with 6 sources, the 5 lands and Farfinder. And we saw Pacifism and the 2 enchantments that make those 1/4s into 5/5s. So I think we do want Wilt in. Wilt over Go for Blood. I agree. Yeah, this deck's really good. I think the decks I drafted today, I think the red-black deck did grossly underperform. I mean, you saw how I lost if you were here for that. But if I had to rate the decks today, this deck is like a 10. Like, with a companion, too. Because, like, the main deck of this deck is really good. But then I also have a companion, which is incredible. Obviously, it's one of the weaker companions out of the companion slot and one of the easier requirements to make. But, like, I have all 3 sharks. I have a copy of every removal except Fire Prophecy. I have good uncommons. I have good rares. Like, so to have this main and get to have something in the companion slot and have near perfect mana, too. I mean, with all the fixing I picked up. I mean, this deck is like a 10. And then I think the Cycling Jeskai deck that I 2-1 with, I think that deck was really good, but I could have used a few more duels. I was a couple 1-mana cyclers short of where I wanted to be. I would give that deck like an 8. And then the red-black deck like a 5. That deck was about average. It would have been really good if I got a couple Coil Bugs. Because with a couple Coil Bugs, you can draw your Mutual Destructions, because you're just going to keep using the same Coil Bug over and over and over again. But seeing no Coil Bugs kind of scarred me with the red-black deck. I really needed Coil Bugs for that deck. My current hairstyle is a 10 because function over aesthetics all day. And the shorter your hair is, the easier it is to keep it. O2 with the red-black deck. Though it was kind of a flood screw round 2. It honestly was. But, I mean, round 1 we just lost some legit close games. I don't know if I'm supposed to wilt that or not. I don't really need to cycle it. I guess I can save it and then copy it with Lutri if they play another enchantment. For now, I can scatter any threat. I'll happily take 1 a turn. Guess I don't have to wilt it or cycle it. I can just hold on to this and chill. Yeah, I was thinking about killing the ramp, but, like, they're not a ramp deck. Like, they're just, like, a little black-white deck. Most of their cards are cheap. Also, I can scatter anything they play. Like that. Yeah, I would have wilted if I had no scatter also. Scatter is what made me choose to wait. But now if they, like, play Pacifism or any other enchantment, I can copy Wilt with Lutri and get both. It's kind of nice. Yeah, well, they played it because they had that good 4-mana card in their hand, and they didn't have any more lands, I don't think. They missed a land drop. They were on the play. But just because your opponent played a card doesn't mean you need to kill it. Like, this could be more valuable for removing Pacifism later or something. So now what I'm going to do is pass to the opponent. I don't care about eating a 1-1. That doesn't matter to me. If they play a creature, I'll Voracious Greatshark it. If they don't, end of their turn, I'm going to play Wilt, killing the Pacifism and the land, and Lutri it. So that I can get out both threats, and then I'll just untap and attack them for 5. So if they play any creature, I'll Great Shark it. Because, I mean, I have removal. I don't need to save this Great Shark. I just want the tempo swing. But if they play no creatures, then end of their turn, I can go Wilt, Lutri, kill Pacifism, freeing up a 2/4 flyer, and I'll also pick off the Crystal, because why not? I don't care about the Sleeper Dart, obviously. If I can undo them drawing a card, I might kill the Dart over the Crystal, but I don't care if they tap down one of my creatures for 1 turn. Okay, so y'all said I didn't need to use full control, right? Y'all know what you're talking about? I'm going to target the Pacifism first, so if it skips through it, it's not the end of the world, like I just miss a free kill on a Crystal. But let's see if y'all are right. You are. My chat is always right. My chat is the best. My chat knows everything. You right, Lola, man. My chat knows everything. Oh, my chat's way better than LSV chat. No question. I'll take my chat versus anybody. Alright. So let's see. Now we can just attack for 5. Leave up Great Shark again. If we draw a land, we can play Typhoon, but we don't really have any more spells. So what I'll probably do now is just leave up Great Shark, cycle Shark, Typhoon if they play nothing. Play the Great Shark, of course, on any creature for the huge tempo swing. I wish I could take my chat to the PT. Maybe someday we'll have online PTs that we're streaming live and we're using our chat. Like, maybe they'll figure out a way to make sure the people can't cheat, that we're sequestered or whatever, but we'll be allowed to use our chat. I don't know how that'll be possible, but it would be awesome. The Shark Squad. I think what I'm actually going to do here is just play Pouncing Shore Shark end of turn, since it has Flash. I don't need to bounce anything. And since I'm getting another land, the Typhoon is already 1 bigger if I wait, and if I draw a land, it'll be 2 bigger. And since I have no need to bounce anything, I'm just going to play this Pouncing Shore Shark as flash, end of their turn. I'm playing counter Shark. Only the counter is a Shark, but... If they play something, I Voracious Great Shark it. If they don't, I Pouncing Shore Shark or Shark Typhoon. I just invented a new archetype, counter Shark. I don't think I want to use anything here. Like, I can Flame Spill to keep a 4-3 around, but who really cares about this? And I'll just stick with the same plan. If they play a creature, any creature, I'll Voracious Great Shark it. If not, they're welcome to hit me for 1. End of their turn, I'll make a 4-4 flyer and draw another card. And this is only 2, so if we draw a land in these 2 cards, we can hit with C-Dash for more cards and still have 5 up for Great Shark. Yeah, maybe I could have flashed the Octopus on the Shore Shark, but I didn't really want to do that. I wouldn't draw a card since it was blocked. I'd also not have 5 up for Voracious Great Shark, so that just seems kind of unnecessary. I mean, I know we're going to win this game no matter what we do. Basically, everything is unnecessary from this point forward. Shark thinking. That's reasonable. It's not a good pun, but it's an acceptable one. I'm not going to just spill there. They have their 4 mana open. They could easily have Blood Curdle. They probably have some kind of a trick. If they would have tapped out on this turn to do something and spill was lethal, then we'd go for it. But for now, there's absolutely no reason to just cast Spill there. Okay, fine, 2-lander. Obviously, we need to draw lands, but Scatter costs 2, Friendship costs 2, we're on the draw. This is a great 3-mana flash card to play with Scatter. So, of course, you know, we're definitely would never think about mulliganing this. We just hopefully will draw at least 1 land right away. I guess we could even mutate this if we're stuck on 2 onto the Dino if that can connect. So for now, I'm going to leave up Scatter because Forbidden Friendship isn't doing anything. Scatter anything decent, of course, because we want to spend our mana. No real decisions here so far. We're 2 lands away from Lutri Blitz, which is a really nice one to copy. And we can cycle Boon. We have plenty of ammunition, including the Crasher, which we already basically can cast. We just need to draw a Mountain in the next 2 lands. So, like, we can cycle Boon to get a 3rd spell in the yard and help us hit our land drops. Hopefully we can connect with Sea Dasher on this Dino to also help us hit our land drops. Okay, so far, yeah, that looks like a no-brainer now. First and foremost, let's go ahead and mutate this in. Since the creature's already in play, it can attack, we can draw cards. Drawing cards is the best, of course. That's something me and LSV definitely agree on. Now, I didn't make the land drop, so I'll happily cycle Boon. Sadly, no lands, but we're not under that much pressure. Okay, this turn is easy. Tap out and play the Ceratops. We want that out before we cast more spells. 2/3 stops their 2/2s anyway. So now let's see. We could Flame Spill. I don't really care about the 1 life a turn. What happens if I attack with Ceratops and they, like, triple block? Grow it to a 3/4 and kill one, but then they still kill Ceratops. That doesn't work out well for me. So I think I'm just going to chill for a turn. We can Flame Spill end of their turn. And then next turn we have Quartz Crasher, or we have Lutri Blitz Dragon, just depending on what they do. I'd rather hold the Blitz Dragon, Blitz of Thunder Raptor, if possible, because it can kill bigger stuff. It's already going to be at 4 after the Flame Spill. But I'm also not worried about big things if I can get a board advantage, where I can also leave 5 up for Great Shark. I think I'm going to kill Symbiote. That actually scares me more than the 2/4. Even though this looks like a much better creature, the 1 life a turn is irrelevant to me. This generates another +1/+1, which already is more power than this has, as soon as they play a Mutate creature. Plus, I'll get the 2 to them right now, which will offset the 2 they're gaining anyway. So I think I'm going to kill Symbiote. I think that's a scarier creature than Healbonder to me right now. I'm not actually afraid of either, but I want to play my cards just to grow the Ceratops. And I think the Symbiote's the one that could make another creature even bigger out of Blitz range or something like that. I think it's time to just slap down the Crasher. Next turn we win if we untap. I mean, this counter only counters creatures. We can kill any sized creature. Like, even if they played an 8/8, we would just copy Blitz and hit it for 8. So I'm not really afraid of anything here. I guess the 11/11 could be annoying, but even then, we could, like, Frost Links it, hit and make another 6/6 or 10/10 trample. I basically don't think there's any way we can lose this game. Yeah, seems fine to Rock Slide. That turns the Blitz into 5, so now it can deal 10. I'd rather spend more mana and use the Rock Slide, which costs more and does less than the Blitz, potentially. I mean, right now it does 6 and Blitz does 5, but again, we have a million spells in our deck. Now there's no need to drop shields anymore. 4, 5, 8, so they're dead to just the Lutri, so we don't need to play Frostlinks. Well, okay, they've had enough. So they're a big ramp green deck, presumably. Convolute might be good against them. Go for Blood should not be good against them. Plus we're on the draw, so we need cycling less. So I'll swap that. Counters are worse on the draw, but I mean, they're probably a ramp deck. I know they didn't play any finishers, all they did was ramp, but I mean, they obviously flooded pretty hard. We've got to assume they have some nice fatties. I could throw it in Wilt versus Pacifism. It does cycle. We saw considerably more against the black-white deck. Did they have anything besides Pacifism that we saw? I mean, I don't need finishers. If you're saying they may have Sandworm, yeah, that's a card I'm afraid of out of their deck for sure. Alright, I don't think we want Wilt then, just for a Pacifism, which isn't even that good a card against us. We have a lot of card drawing in a great late game. So, like, I mean, look, Pacifism's fine against us. We're a creature deck, but it's not like a card that I'm afraid of. It's not like a card I need to remove. My deck isn't really reliant on any one creature. First things first, always get your Sprite Dragon out on turn 2. Even if you have a scatter, tap out, play the Sprite Dragon and attack, because you don't want to miss it growing. The nice thing about cards like Essence Scatter and Limited is you can leave them up at whatever turn on your curve you have nothing to do. So you're not, like, forced to play them early. That said, we'll be able to copy Blitz later. For now, I think we just want a Flame Spill. I'm not sure what to kill. I'm really not scared of the Checkpoint Officer. If they want to sink mana into it over the early game, I'm cool with that. I think I'm just going to take out the Naturalist here. Checkpoint is actually my third of the 3. So I have this for 2 already with the spells I have, and I have a ton of spells in my deck. And Checkpoint Officer is a good card in the late game. It's not a good card in the early game. If they want to sink 2 mana tapping my Sprite Dragon next turn, great. I'm going to keep casting things, and they're just saving a couple of life. Between the Symbiote and the Naturalist, I think it's super close. And I'm not sure. Symbiote is scary, that's why I killed it last game over the 2/4. But Naturalist is a bird. Bolt the bird, right? Like, here we are on turn 3. I don't think I want to leave them an extra mana. So I think here, this early in the game, I want to kill Naturalist over Symbiote. Symbiote was my second choice. Checkpoint Officer is dead last. I'm not even thinking about Checkpoint Officer, honestly. I think Naturalist and Symbiote, I think it's close right now. And I'll just kill Checkpoint Officer later when it would be good. My deck has so much shocks and card drawing and removal. By the time that I care about them having excess mana to sink into the Officer every turn, the Officer will be dead anyway. It's really just not a concern. Okay, this looks easy. We can go get our Mountain, play Quartzwood Crasher next turn. I guess I'll tap the Symbiote. So they showed us a Blade Banish, which I don't really care if they kill the Crasher, but we should go to combat first. This way they spend their mana on Officer, tapping links, and then at least they have to Blade Banish on their turn. So let's go to combat. Post-combat, play our card, though. We don't know if they have it or don't. Let's make them have it. I think they probably have it, but again, they spend this turn killing it, hit me for 2, who cares? Well, now we can bring in Wilt. There's multiple pacifisms, so for the next game, I'm cool with that. For now, I'd rather copy the Blitz here than copy the Forbidden Friendship, I think. So I'm just going to cast Friendship, and then also cast... yeah, there's not going to be a next game, probably, but you never know. But and then also cast the Mentor. And now next turn I can Blitz and Lori. So if Symbiote doesn't grow, then I can kill both their creatures next turn with Lutri Blitz combo. We'll grow the smaller creature, not the 2/2. Alright, again, y'all said I don't have to hold control. I'm going to trust my chat. Let's fire this, targeting the one I want dead more first, the Officer. Then we'll bring in Lutri. Hit the Symbiote 2. This is gross. We'll draw 3 off the Reunion the next time we draw land. I mean, we're so far ahead on board. Like, I see no need to draw 6. Like, we're just going to be attacking them, spending our mana on Mentor growing things. We have a 3/2 we just added to an empty board as well. Like, it would be unnecessarily greedy to draw 6. Of course, now we have 2 lands to discard, so we can go ahead and draw 3. I drew 6 last game when it made sense. Alright, so now we'll just attack and leave Convolute up. Even though they'll likely play a small creature that we can't Convolute or something, it would take an 8-mana spell or a 7-mana spell for them to have any chance here. I don't care if they resolve a 4-drop. This deck is a masterpiece. Well, it will be saved by default, because all of it, we put up every single one of these streams on the YouTube channel. So if you ever miss a stream, you can just go on the YouTube channel, or if you saw like part of a stream, like let's say you tune into my stream and I'm in round 2, and you want to see the draft, you can always go check out my YouTube channel, and within a few days, all the streams are up on there. Hey, Fathers. My record today is not great. It's not horrible, but, I mean, I went, like, 2-1, 0-2, and 2-0. So it's like, what is that, 4-3 at the moment? 5-3 if we get the win here. So not too exciting, but not horrible or anything. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember all my draft decks ever. But like I said, I would give this deck a 10. Because, again, the main is incredible. And then I have a companion. Like, you're supposed to pay for your companion by having a weak main deck, right? By meeting its requirement. I did pay for it. I could have had 2 more boons that are literally in my sideboard, plus a second Gust that I didn't take because I couldn't play it. But instead of paying, like, You're supposed to pay for the companion slot by having a weak main. I have a great main and a companion. Like, that's just ridiculous. No, you can always Farfinder next turn to hit your land drop. So you want to get the Otter out, because what if they have nothing? I just get to hit with the Otter and draw cards. And the Farfinder, I can always play it this turn and go get a land. So I was never going to miss a land drop by choosing Otter over Farfinder there. Now I'll Farfinder because I want to crash her next turn if they tap out. But you don't have to Farfinder on 3 even if you have no more lands. Because if you Farfinder on turn 4, you can just play the land immediately. And since Otter's a really important 3-drop to get out as soon as possible, we wanted to Otter on 3 and then see what happened. So they've got their Crasher mana up. Their Essence Scatter mana up. They haven't really represented Essence Scatter. I don't really know whether I should be putting them on it or not here. Quartzwood Crasher is kind of a house against blue-red if it resolves, because they can't really do much about a 6/6. If they have 6 lands, they can Rock Slide it. Otherwise, they can't. So I'm not sure whether to slam it or not. I probably should just slam it. Yeah, because it could just be open to loot. I agree. But again, I'm also under no pressure. I could put out a 2/4 flyer. If they tap out and I get to resolve the 6/6, it's pretty incredible. Yeah, I'll just slam it. I don't really care. I don't think they particularly have scatter. They might not. But if it resolves now, well, they can't Rock Slide it. It's so game-winning. Flash Octopus. Oh, you're saying cycle to give it flying and then hit with Octopus. Yeah, that would have been decent too. But they could have, 2 blue, they can't really have open removal. You can't play Gust, it's a sorcery. The only way that I get owned there is Mystic Subdual, which is an uncommon. That play might have been better. I didn't really think they had scatter the way they played this game, because they flame spilled main phase there. But it might have been better to just Sea Dasher and Avian Oddity start drawing cards. I'm not going to do that now because I just want to resolve Crasher against red-blue. Look, there's Capture Sphere, there's Rock Slide if they have 6. If they don't have that and I connect a single time, the game is over. So for now, easy peasy, make them have it. Yeah, this card is really good. This is one of those S-tier rares. Because not only is it, its ability is still out. Yeah, they Capture Sphered it, but I have 2 other Tramplers in my deck and a lot of card drawing. So, if I ever connect with it, it's over. But also, if I had a Tigerilla out, or play one later, I can still use its game-winning ability. So now that they only have a 1/2 up, I don't even have to spend the 3 mana on Avian Oddity. I'm just going to attack with Farfinder. If they block, I'll try and bring an Octopus. They didn't have the scatter then. They probably don't have it now. They could have Fire Prophecy, but who cares? Obviously I don't care about this 1/1 body. If they don't block, I get to bring in the Octopus for 2 here. See if they have anything. If not, I'm drawing cards. Anytime you're drawing cards, life is good. And for now, I think I'm just going to chill. Do I want to kill that? Nah, not really. I don't really care if they loot 1 or 2 more times. If I resolve this Typhoon, the game's over. So I'm going to just chill and make sure I don't fall behind. If they go for a Dream Heron, I have Flame Spill or something good this turn. I don't want them to play, Ceratops and get it to start growing. My plan here is just to spill end of their turn or anything good, like Wolverine, and then on tap and slam Typhoon for the win. love Facet Reader in this format. Like, it's playable, because, I mean, look, it's a 2-mana 1/2 human that loots. Like, that's fine. But this is a high-power format. I don't find looting to be the most effective turn after turn. I think it's serviceable. If you have of 1 mines, it synergizes really well with of 1 mine, because it makes of 1 mine cost 1 if you have a non-human 2. And then also, you pick up extra cards that you can loot away, and then you have extra lands to loot away. But all in all, I think the card is fine, but I don't think it's especially good. I think it's like a serviceable, mediocre 2-drop. But now we're going to find out if they have a Convolute or Neutralize. If this resolves, the game's over, so I'm definitely going for it. Scatter being the only common counter that people always play. Neutralize it on common. Convolute sometimes people play, sometimes they don't. I'm not going to play the land, because I need 2 lands to discard to Reunion. It's Shark time. I guess they can Gust to Wind it, but I mean, I'll just replay it. I'm not under any pressure. Yeah, draw 4 is good, but wait till you see what this board's about to look like. So I guess we can start now with draw 6. I don't really need to do much. Oh, you know what I could do? I could cycle the Oddity here, jump the Octopus, and then I have a flyer so I can Gust to Wind for 2 mana. But I think I'll still make a 4/4, because the card's printed casting cost is 4. That looks pretty good. I'll just do that this turn instead of Reunioning. I think this is just better. Plus, now they have to deal with the flyer. Yeah, Gusting the Capture Sphere looks good. If I untap the Quartzwood Crasher, that's amazing. I'd rather make them pay 4 than pay 2 to recast these. Nice call, chat. I'm not sure if I would have saw that. Who said that? That's a great play. Jadith, well done. Yeah, I mean, I want to Gust this turn, but I think, because I have, like, Blitz and plenty of more spells and links, like, but I think it makes more sense to Gust the Capture Sphere and tie up their mana since they just drew 4. That's a nice play, Jit. I like that. I think I'm going to play one more land, because these are tap lands. Cathartic Reunion and Forbidden Friendship literally look exactly the same. How are we being trolled by Wizards? I know y'all were talking about that before, and I knew they looked similar, but I didn't realize it was this similar. Like, this has to be on purpose. They literally look exactly the same. Okay, so I guess this turn, they don't have any flyers, so let's start by hitting for 6 in the air and see what we draw. Probably just go Frostlinks on Ceratops and Tigerilla. Even better. Now we can play Wingspan Mentor and Tigerilla. We just can never lose. Like, this deck is just a joke. I'm just trying to figure out how it's possible to lose, and there just isn't even an answer. So Trample and Flying. So now that's another thing they must deal with. Remember, we still have the Crasher out, even though it's Capture Sphered. I doubt there's any conceivable way they can lethal me, but just in case they play a couple spells and Double Strike, I'm going to play the land because I just don't need to discard it, and I gain a life. Alright, so there are blue-red spells. We didn't see 1 toughness creatures. I don't think there's much to change in this matchup. I mean, we can board in volley against 2/2s too, because we have Lutri, so we have double volley every game. But they didn't even play like 2/2s, right? They played like the 1 Facet Reader, and then they had the 2-mana 1/3 Symbiote, and then like Ceratops. So I don't think there's a reason to board in Vol. Oh, Wilt. Well, all we saw was a capture sphere, right? I don't want to board in Wilt for just one capture sphere. And blue-red doesn't have a lot of enchantments. And the fight could actually work against them. Their creatures are small. Like, we can fight off a 1-2 or a 1-3 profitably. This is an interesting one. I mean, I got all my lands, including a Thin Out. I've got Lutri. I know this hand does nothing, but it's only a 16 land, effective 15 land for the rest of my draws. I think I'm going to keep this on the draw. Remember, I also have the 3-2, so if I can trade off things in Boon, then that's fine. Don't view this hand as 6 lands in Boon. View it as 6 lands, Boon, and Lutri. So I think it's a keep, but it's super close. No, it's super close, yeah. I drew a green source, so I no longer need the forest. I was going to get the forest, of course, but we just have the 1 quartz. So I'll go get 2 mountains, 2 islands. That's blue, so we want red a little more. No, I genuinely think this hand was super close, but I think it's a keep. They're not an aggro deck. Not really. We have a 3-drop and a great 6-drop. Like, I mean, like I said, I think it was super close, but I think it was a keep. Maybe I should have mulled. I mean, like, there's not that many lands left in the whole deck. Like, you can see here, we're 28% to draw land each turn. So 75% or so, or 3 out of 4 or so, 72%, we draw a spell every turn. And this deck has a lot of really good draws. Cathartic Reunion would let us discard 2 lands and draw 3. Like I said, I think it was close. I'm not saying it was definitely a keep, but I think it was like a very close hand. A very hard call. Yeah, that's the untapped overlay. Alright, so for now, I actually don't know if I want to mutate here. I think I'm just going to play this end of their turn or something. With all their mana up, they might have something. And even if they don't, I just want more bodies. Like, I don't really want to mutate this on Ceratops right now. I think that's just, like, a little aggressive. Even for me. End of turn, I can just flash this in, get a 3rd body. If they don't do anything, then one of my card drawing creatures is connecting. They're missing red, but they still played a turn 2 Omniseas, and they've still put out a 1-3, cycled their 2-4, so they're still doing plenty. They could likely have an 8-8 this turn, and they found red. That's fine. Now we're going to slam Boon. Hopefully that will resolve. Double Convolute. Boo. Alright. So now we got to draw something to deal with that 8-8. We have Gust of Wind, Rock Slide, Capture Sphere. Cathartic Reunion, if they don't have another counter, would draw 6 and probably win us the game. That would probably be our best draw. Shark Typhoon, of course, would be an incredible draw as well. This time we would just cycle and make something huge. Thank you, deck. I appreciate that. We can't copy it because it's not an instant or sorcery. I'm not sure whether I should attack and then just blitz off this Godzilla, or whether I should play a land and then make a 5/5 flyer. I guess 5/5 flyer, because I keep drawing more cards. I find Reunion or Rock Slide or something else to copy with Lutri. Thank you, the oddest guy. Appreciate the subscription. I'm Even Steven. Nice to meet you. No, I'm not going to cast it and just hope I top deck. All I have in hand is 1/2 mana spell here. If I had like a single card drawing spell, sure. But a 5/5 flyer is a pretty good card. This can only copy my stuff, right? Yeah, sadly. Yeah, and I have a lot of power cards. Like, if I draw Reunion, that's a draw 6 with this Loot Tree. And if I draw Rock Slide or Gust or Capture Sphere, that can stop the 8/8. I think casting it here would be very bad. Because remember, there's how many lands here? 7 in play, 8, and 9. So there's only 7 lands left in my 25 cards. So, I mean, I'm looking for a lot of card drawing, cantrips, all my rares, power cards. It's not like I'm just getting a 5/5 flyer here. I'm getting a 5/5 flyer plus draw a card. Alright, so now we can Shore Shark the 8/8, so that's nice. I can attack with both. I can Shore Shark on the Otter. As long as they don't have Scatter, I'm good. If they do, it's pretty bad for me, but I didn't see it in game 1. There's no reason to put them on it. They might have it, they might not. I think we gotta go for it. I'm not gonna put the Shore Shark on the 5/5 flyer just to draw cards. That's killing them in 3 turns anyway. So we're gonna go for this, see how it goes. If they don't have, like, Fire Prophecy or Scatter here, it's great. If they do, it's not, but they still also have to answer this flyer. They die in 3. This 2/2 Otter wasn't going to do much here if they had that answer. They only had 2 up. They couldn't play Convolute. I mean, again, they still have to top deck their Capture Sphere or something, or they die in 2 attacks. I can remove the Baby Godzilla here. I'm going to go ahead and chump. I can remove the Baby Godzilla with Loot Tree plus Blitz, which I'm going to do now. And then if they don't have a flyer or removal, I mean, they still die next turn. Long before their 8/8s can kill me. So again, we still have a backup plan. I'm not saying it's going to work. They may have Capture Sphere or Gust or whatever. But we still have a backup path to victory even after they scatter the Shore Shark. They have to have Capture Sphere or Gust or we win now with this 5/5. 8, 16, 22. So we die to the Double Strike card if we don't block. But that doesn't have Trample, so I'll happily chump with 1 Dino. And hopefully they're just dead. And they are. Flooded out, the opponent had it all, and we won anyway. Just gotta find those paths to victory.